I'm rolling with FD.
I am rolling with FD.
I'm rolling with FD.
I'm rolling with FD, baby.
We are rolling with FD.
I'm rolling with FD.
We got alphas and bros in the house.
That's right.
Peace out, my brother.
Woo!
I'm rolling with the F to the D.
Learn something new every day when you're rolling with FD.
We are rolling with FD, baby.
I roll with one person, and that's FD.
I'm rolling with FD, baby.
You gotta love it, man.
Hey, Renee, who you rolling with?
Rolling with FD.
Amen.
Rolling with FD.
You don't have to ask. I'm rolling with FD.
My man, C. Bless. Who you rolling with?
I'm rolling with FD.
I'm rolling with FD.
That's how you just rolling, right? That's the whole thing, right? You roll with it.
I'm rolling with FD.
Manny and Jeremy, who you rolling with?
We're rolling with FD. We don't want to get our asses kicked.
My man, Dan, the card man. I appreciate you, dog. You gotta let the people know who you rolling with.
Well, obviously I'm rolling with FD.
I'm rolling with FD, baby.
Chasing Cardboard is rolling with FD.
Rolling with FD.
Big Jon's in the house.
How we doing?
What's going on, man?
Nothing much. So, how you doing this week? How's the family?
The week has been going well. Jameis Winston last night in Monday Night Football. We can talk about that. But the week has been going well, personally. Very well. Thanksgiving was good. I felt like I didn't eat too much. So I'm good with that.
That's good. Oh, so I think we were looking at that Kobe White card last week, and I think we're going to be way off what it's worth. It ends in a minute.
Didn't we say $350?
Yeah. It's at $36 with a minute to go.
Hold up. What Kobe White card are we talking about?
The orange to 49.
No. It's at what?
I'm about to share it. Let's see.
Hold on. Let me
I'm bringing it up.
Okay, hold on.
57.
Will you stop? But okay, this is a 9.5. This is not the. Didn't we see one that was 10? A 10?
It was a 9.5. Maybe it was a 10.
It was a 10.
Okay.
But this 9.5 and 57 impacts the 10 price.
Mm-hmm. Incredibly. So 9 center, 9.5 edges.
Yeah, the 10 is at $949.
Okay, so it's a 9.5.
That's a or best offer.
Well, the 9.5 is going to end under 150. 118.
That's what it's at now. 118.
118.50. So, boom. So that 10 price is way off.
Yeah. But if you probably sent the person the 10 price of the 9.5 price, they probably wouldn't even lower the 10 price. Because what would the 10 be?
300?
Yeah.
That's how we start. All right.
Because then there's that's orange ice. No, never mind. I look at Kobe White's cards and I wonder why they sell so much underpriced.
Because the team is bad.
Yeah, but that ain't stopping some of these other. People still buying Brandon Miller.
But he also wasn't hyped like Brandon Miller and coming out.
So then you got to prove yourself. Huh? You got to prove that. Okay. So this is what Brandon Miller's cards would probably be in 3 years.
And according to all the NBA insiders, the Bulls are for sale. So everybody's available to be traded.
Top of the roster. Do you believe that? I don't believe that.
Oh, I think they want to get rid of Levine, Lonzo, especially.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they get rid of those guys. They get rid of what's the power forward? They get rid of him.
Patrick Williams got to go. Vooch got to go.
But I don't think they're moving Kobe White.
They
I
should.
don't know why. I don't know why you would do that. I wouldn't do that.
No, I would not do that myself. All right.
So, what we want to dive into here?
Let's dive into Jameis. That was a good game.
Yeah, he played a good game. He had 2 throws that cost him the game.
Yeah, and he
has the second most yards ever on Monday Night Football.
Mm-hmm.
Played a good game, but Jameis came.
Yeah, 2 pick sixes. If you include the yards on the pick sixes, he almost had 700 yards of passing.
He threw 6 touchdowns, right?
He threw 497.
But he threw 4 to his team and 2 to the other team.
Yeah, basically, 497, and then another one something to his team, the other team.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I've always thought Jameis has a good arm. Sometimes he throws in the triple coverage, quadruple coverage. He just makes some decisions sometimes that doesn't work out for him. But we're also playing with Cleveland. You know, Cleveland's not really. Their organization just can't get it together. I don't know.
Then you got, on the flip side, you got Josh Allen over here getting receiving touchdowns off of hook and ladder plays. Love it.
But see, this is what I was thinking. We love that. He put that ball out with his throwing arm.
Mm-hmm.
It was a nice looking play to me. As fans, we love that he could easily end his career on that play.
Yep. So the hook and ladder play, and when I played football in high school, the hook and ladder play was a staple in our offense. So whenever
it really was?
Yeah. Wow. Short slant to the receiver, pitch it to the running back out coming out of the backfield. Staple trick play. Like we ran it every 2 or 3 games. Like
so, how would you? If you ran it every 2 or 3 games, how would you defend that?
Just got to tackle the first person.
Yeah, I'm blowing that receiver up.
Yeah, just got to blow the receiver up.
It's interesting that you all ran that much.
Yeah, Coach Reed.
Very interesting.
So whenever I see it in the NFL, it always brings a delight to me.
The old hook and ladder.
I mean, I know Kelsey does it, tries to improv and do it a lot. But
you talking about the Kansas City Chiefs, Kelsey?
Yeah. He tries to improv and pitch out of bad situations a lot. Yeah. But it's a very dangerous play. Somebody not expecting it. Somebody sneak. That is a fumble waiting to happen.
So the ultimate question is: are the Chiefs going back to the Super
Bowl? Probably. What
we really need Buffalo or the Ravens to step up. They got to step up.
I don't know.
Chiefs should be 11-1 right now. So
it could be the Steelers.
Could be.
Like Mike Tomlin plays his brand of football. Be smart with the ball, run it, play a good defense.
Yeah, he's actually got Najee looking pretty decent.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, you got 49ers should be end up blowing that all up.
So both running backs are hurt. I still don't think Debo's 100%. We can't even get the ball to Kittle. He had one reception the other night. Are people still believing in Brock Purdy?
I don't know. I think part of that has to do injuries. Part of that has to do with just that not you get all the people call out. Well, not call out, but you get the late additions with the contract situations, all the holdouts.
Yeah. I just think I just think the 49ers are played around too long with winning. Being there, being relevant, not really winning. And you can't extend that window too long before injuries start happening. People start want to negotiate their contracts, and people ain't, Ayuk never looked good when he came in. Never looked good.
Same thing that the Bengals are facing.
Yes. Their defense is a problem.
They don't have not one standout defensive player that comes to mind when you think about their defense.
No. So the offense, Burrow is doing his job. Chase is doing his job. Other people are doing their job. But so they can move the ball and score, but they just can't hold anybody. They can't do anything on the other hand. So it's a when does Burrow leave? When does he leave? When does he say, I want to get out and I want to go someplace else?
If it's this bad next year, maybe next year. You can't say it now.
Another question was, does Bengals quarterback, what's his name?
Bengals quarterback?
Not Bengals, excuse me. Buffalo Bills quarterback.
Josh Allen?
Josh Allen. Does he play better without a receiver nagging him to death about getting the ball?
Yeah.
He's playing much better. I see him smiling more. I see him less stressed. At least not in the huddle. Not like his receivers yelling at him about why he didn't get the ball.
I think he wants to run a lot when stuff is not there. And two, with Diggs just is a baby.
Well, who was his brother? His brother is not far from him.
I know they won like 3 games in a row. Cowboys.
Sometimes stuff just runs in the family. Like Lonzo and Melo. Stuff just runs in the family.
Oh, you want to get in the LiAngelo and Melo interview?
I just don't understand. Like, what are we talking about? What was Zoe trying to say with his Mount Rushmore? And then what was his brother saying about his own career?
I don't know. He had Kobe off his Mount Rushmore, so that was big. He's an LA kid, so that was just interesting to see or to hear. And then
hold up. Let's just stop right there before we get to. So in 2024, you're playing in the NBA. You're not really doing much, but you throwing out commentary on who's on the Rushmore.
You ain't even played in the season.
You sitting on knee issues. You're sitting on wrist issues. And the Knicks are destroying Orlando. Wow. And you're still asking, you're talking about this, that, and the other? Get this comment here. Sideline says, yo, recently got put on your channel. Discovered you, man. Man, I appreciate you being here.
Appreciate you being here, Sideline.
Hey, when do the Raiders come back into the topic? We can bring the Raiders up right now. Been a diehard fan since before I was even born, but yet they give me no good reason. And they've given Raider fans no good reason for decades. Almost two generations now. Went to the Super Bowl and got smoked years ago. But sideline, I appreciate you being here. I'm so happy that you discovered the channel. I'm so happy that I know who you are now and you're here. I hope to have you back. We can talk about the Raiders. Some people are saying that the coach last year was the bomb, and now this year he's unfit to be coach. I don't think he's done anything wrong.
No, they don't have a good team. They don't have a quarterback.
And he inherited that team.
Yeah. And you're changing the culture. It's the same, it's the same thing that's happening here in New England, right? This is a culture change. This is a systematic culture change that's happening, and you're going to need the players. And it'll start next year when they draft the quarterback. Whoever they draft as quarterback has got to be able to take brutal honesty, because that's what Antonio Pierce is going to give you.
You and I know who they're drafting.
I mean, they should get Shador.
They're going to get Shador. And who else is coming?
Think Deion coming?
Somebody else is coming. Maybe they draft Shador and Shiloh, so they're both in one place. But somebody else is coming. Do you think Deion is? I don't want to get up to Raiders. We can table this. Do you think Deion is leaving? We can table that. We'll make sure we give the Raiders a proper time here. But the Raiders, to me, are the same as the Bears and many other teams. As long as Davis is owning the team, they're going to struggle.
I mean, they messed up. The Raiders messed up when they traded Khalil Mack. That was the beginning of the downfall, right? Because they traded him, got almost nothing back for him. Then they paid Gruden all that money. You had the incident with Gruden with the issues he had.
That made no sense.
And you're still paying him.
Well, don't forget they brought in Antonio Brown.
You brought in Antonio Brown,
who got up in front of the team and said, listening to Crosby, hey, guys, I'm sorry. When I leave here today, we're going to be all about football. There'll be no more shenanigans for me. Goes home that night, gets on social media, secretly records the conversation with his coach, and then releases it.
Yep.
So a lot, it just brews. There needs to be top-down change that won't be. Just like with the Bears, as long as the McCaskey family owns the Bears, you'll have evil fools walking around, who I actually believe wanted to be fired. You just don't let 30 seconds run off the clock when it's a simple field goal.
No.
You don't let that happen. You're going to make sure you get in overtime.
And
then your arrogance in you to even get fired more, you come out and say, I'm getting ready for this week. I know I'm going to be here.
Okay, so let's get on that, because that stems from a leadership down. Why did they let him go to this press conference?
Oh, it probably was about when they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah, but you after that game, you didn't think it was important enough to come in early to have this conversation before this press conference, and this man go out there and make a fool of himself.
I've seen work environments. Can't say my own, but I've seen work environments where people come to work for a duration of time, and then certain things like HR and them catch up, and people get together on how they're going to do what, and then probably around 10, 11 o'clock, just like him, is when somebody tells you no longer have a job. Well, you would think with the gross negligence that he had, that someone would have told him that before he boarded the plane to come home. They said there are accounts that players in the locker room were very upset about losing the game that way that day, and was vocalizing that in the locker room.
Yeah, Jalen Johnson, one of the leaders, was ripped into him to shreds. So I gotta say, you just gotta be better.
I mean, the Bears need more talent. I don't think Caleb Williams is the answer to what they need. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. But as long as the McCaskey family is running that show, we can cancel Christmas early. Because let's think about it like this, people. You have a asset that's going to rise in value. No matter if you win or not, you can stay relevant if you bring attention to that situation by bringing new players in, signing new people, getting rid of a coach, bringing a new coach in. But the asset is going to still rise in value. So there's no motivation to win unless you have an intrinsic passion for winning. If we look at some of the top, we're talking about football right now. Let's look up NFL teams and what their values are. Let me pull something up here because we like to look at numbers. Don't want to just speculate for y'all. We love data. So let's look at this.
I think Dallas is the top 5 viable teams, not one.
Dallas is number 1. 10.1 billion. Built a huge stadium years ago. Dallas hasn't won in 30 years. Do you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Swap out some coaches, get a new quarterback, get a few new running backs, put some players on defense. We're not worried about winning. Look at the value. Look at the 1 year change. Up 12%. They haven't really done anything. Now we go to the Rams. They had 1 year, one shiny moment. They really haven't done anything since the 90s before that.
My boy Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce, Marshall Falk, Kurt Warner.
Look at the Patriots. Now they've won. They're up there. Look at the Giants. They have won. It's been some time.
But they won 2 recently in the last 20 years.
Yeah, but they've been there. Look at the Jets. They haven't done anything since 1969.
Nope.
I can't even name. They had O'Brien when I was a kid, 83 draft. I can't even name a lot of players that have come through here that started their career here that's doing something. But that Johnson family is balling. They're up 13%. Look at the 49ers. When's the last time they won something? Switch out the quarterback, get Mr. Irrelevant, get some people playing wide receiver, get a running back, go get CMC. They're relevant. Look at the Raiders. They don't do anything. Philadelphia went to the Super Bowl and lost the Super Bowl on a drop ball by the quarterback. They are 14%. Look at the Chicago Bears, the Washington Commanders, and the Miami Dolphins. These are 3 franchises that haven't done anything
in 40 years.
Yeah, the Miami Dolphins has done anything in 2 generations. They had Dan Marino, but they're up 9%. So these teams are not worried about winning championships. That's what we look at as fans. But they're not worried about that. They're worried about putting butts in seats, making sure there's TV coverage. There's somebody watching when the game is on TV. And that's about it. We can keep going. Houston Texans have done nothing. Green Bay Packers haven't won in years. Denver Broncos, probably the most recent team on this list that's kind of had a legendary quarterback, and Von Miller, who's a Hall of Fame defensive end, that has won something. Seattle hasn't won in quite a while. All these teams are almost 10% growth.
Tampa won a couple years ago.
Tampa won a couple years ago because Brady came over. Before that, they had done nothing. That's why they're up 29%. They had done nothing. Pittsburgh Steelers, I don't care where you go in the country, there is a Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
Mm-hmm.
They're up 15%. Atlanta Falcons popped the trunk on Brady. They've done nothing. They're up 11%. Cleveland Browns. We're down at number 19. They're up 11%. The franchise has done nothing.
So who's the cheapest team?
Since Jim Brown was in uniform. Let's see here. Cincinnati Bengals. They're up 17%. So if you look at the percentage of growth, this list on rough average is probably about 11, 12% growth.
Mm-hmm.
Just from one year to the next, just having a team. And every team here, Detroit Lions is the cheapest team at $56 million. This is a team that could probably be purchased by somebody if they want to sell it. But all these teams are doing their thing. They don't care about a Super Bowl. So if you win a Super Bowl, you have planned, you have put the right people in place, and you have planned to do that.
Yeah, because look at the Chiefs. They're 25th, 26th on the list for evaluation. They won 3.
Yeah. They're a $115 million franchise. They're up 13%. But the Hunt family is, they've been in the game since the NFL started.
Mm-hmm.
So they know what this is, how to get it done, how to win, what place people to put in place. They drafted right. I mean, most of these teams do not care about if they're winning ball games. They care enough about, are you interested in what they're doing from a player and a coach perspective, and are you watching on TV? And when you come to a game, and will you buy jerseys and apparel? That's it. Man, we got some comments here. Jamal, you a celeb hater? Celeb hater?
Caleb.
Oh. I'm not a hater. Let's be for real. You think Caleb Williams is elite? So to me in the NFL, you're either elite, or you're good, average, or you're not good at all. Those are the four levels. So you let me know, wait, folks. We rolling. What's the word, FD and Big Jon? Let's get it. Appreciate you, Machado.
Machado in the house. What's up?
Machado. Don't sleep on the Raiders, though. Brock Bowers?
The tight end's good. He's good.
He's a very good tight end. That's all we can talk about, though. We can talk about him and Crosby. Well, Imani says to me that Aiden O'Connell is that dude.
I don't see it.
Mine tells me that dude is that dude. So I don't know if I see it either, but we'll see. I believe with him. What else we got here? What's good, chat? What's going on? Oh no, Cowboys talk. How much longer is Dak gonna be quarterback?
As long as Jerry wants him there.
How long has Romo been retired?
10 years, maybe.
So Dak has been running that show since then? It's about time. It's about time. Shout out the people up in here. Ask the boys some spice questions. Yeah, we're ready for everything. Sideline. I second that. Bowers' comment. Y'all think he breaks them 2 rookie year records he's approaching? He's going to come very close, if not break. I love him because he can block and go out and run around and catch the ball like a real tight end. I still say Travis Kelce is a slot receiver.
Because he don't block?
Does not block. He may crack down on you when you ain't looking. But they don't ask him to block. They ask him to go do other things. Wheel routes, he loves the wheel route.
And then you have a kid on the other side of it who just blocks.
Machado says, thoughts on Fanatics Fest firing people and losing $20 million on their first event in NYC. First of all, I feel for everyone that was laid off. I think that's where my mind went first, second, third, fourth, fifth. On the fact that they lost money, and on the fact that what was the other thing here? Yeah, they lost money. I'm not at all surprised. I've collected autographs since I was 8 years old. I've asked a lot of questions along the way. I've talked to promoters who have brought athletes in. I've even been able to see contracts that were signed by athletes on what they will and will not sign. It's very expensive to accommodate Big Jon flying in, his accommodations, his flight, his hotel stay. Got to be top notch. You got to treat these guys right if you ever want to have them back. Food, beverages, whatever they want. And that's whatever they want, because there's some guys in the back drinking Crown, Hennessy, Coke, Sprite, Red Bull, whatever they want will be back in the back when they're signing the stuff back in the back. Guys and girls, whatever they want, better be taken care of if you want these people back, because they're taking time out of their busy schedule to be there. This stuff adds up because it's very expensive.
So here's my long-winded thing about the Fanatics Fest.
Come with it.
You come out saying it's going to be a loss leader. You already know they're going into it. So you've ran some numbers. On the back end, they realized that it lost $13 million plus. And you look at what was your ROI for that. You got the media attention for that weekend, about what, a week and a half of media attention afterwards. You sold boxes for the Travis Scotts, but anybody here been out buying the Travis Scott's cards? Came out of Topps product from Fanatics Fest?
I think you knew that from Giddy Up. You knew that from out when they opened that gate and the horse came out. You knew that.
It was a fun experience, but you can't run a business. You can't run a business and want to go public with this business and lose $13 million on one event, which is subsequently why all the other events have been canceled. So when you look at Fanatics Fest 2 next year, I don't think you're going to have the same amount of activations. I don't think you're going to have the same amount of high celebrities. And will probably be a $4 million loss leader instead of a $13 million loss leader. Right?
Okay.
They're going to reel that thing back and get the numbers in line, because it hurts the company's overall valuation when you want to go public.
Okay, but let me ask you this question: You don't think you're gonna ever see these events again, are you?
See the events?
Yeah, like a Fanatics Live, like a Fanatics Fest. Do you think you're gonna see that event again?
They June of next year is what they announced.
Okay.
A couple weeks before the National. Back in the Center.
Okay. So supposedly they laid off their entire staff of event people.
I heard there was 3 people. I heard the entire staff. It's a very...
Yeah, I've heard entire staff. So Big Jon, I'm just gonna say here, it's December 3rd, 6:37 p.m. on Pacific Standard Time, 9:37 Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like to be a naysayer, but I am real. I don't think you're ever going to see a Fanatics event again.
So you think the one in June is going to get canceled?
Did Pittsburgh get canceled?
Yeah.
Did Orlando get canceled?
Mm-hmm.
And then the one in LA got canceled. Don't see it. I could prove me wrong. Let me be wrong. I would love to be wrong, people. Don't see it.
Let me see.
Look at these Travis Scott cards, though.
Here I come. I'm looking for something.
Yeah, I don't even know if these cards are selling.
When's the last sale?
That was one on September 26th for $2,000, 2 bids. So that was right around the show, right?
Shows in. That was after a couple months after. Shows in July, August. Yeah, so September. Yeah.
Yeah, right around there. I haven't seen anything after that.
So this is what they put out on Instagram today. And Sports Cross Nonsense shared it. So 300 athletes and celebrities with 500 of the world's top celebrities, artists, creators, and entertainers. All right, let's see if they prove you wrong.
Just so you know, just put me in the column that I just don't see that happen.
Yeah, that sounds like another $10 million loss.
Yeah, I don't see it happen. But I could be wrong. I think they said they wanted to leave West Coast alone.
Why is that? Why do y'all coast get no love?
I think again is flying people out.
Mm-hmm.
They probably looked and did ran some numbers. Most of these athletes may live East Coast, either central part of the United States or East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
So probably flights and accommodations is totally different when I go west.
Mm-hmm.
And then how long do these people want to be on a plane?
So you say 300 athletes and celebrities.
Yeah.
Average cost for a good room. It's a good hotel room board for a weekend in New York.
What,
$10,000 a piece?
You think so? So you think everybody's getting like Lux suites?
Average it out. So for a weekend, 3-day weekend, celebrities, you think at least $10,000 a piece?
Okay, let's say $10,000. That's $3 million off top.
That's right. That's $3 million off top, not including flights.
Yeah.
Probably another $2 million for flights.
Okay.
Flights and let's go flights, transportation, not including food.
Yeah, that's $5 million. That's on hotel and flying around.
I don't know how you make that. I don't know how you make that up.
You don't. You just lose it. It's your marketing spend.
Mm-hmm.
You just lose it. You can't. But a telltale sign was VIP tickets didn't sell out.
Mm-hmm.
So that means your demand, so your perceived demand for the show is not very high. And then they gave them basically you're going on a field trip in 6th grade with grab bags.
Yeah.
And this has all been said by other people. I'm not saying anything that's new and exciting.
What we got?
Thoughts on Fanatics we talked about. In all new ventures, you're going to lose money. Yeah, but you got to, if you're going to lose it, you got to lose it in a certain way and be able to. Fanatics is a publicly traded company. So this is not like.
You got to be able to lose it in a way where it's a line item on your P&L of a loss that you got. They planned this out, and the loss they had hurt their overall evaluation. It hurt their stock prices.
And they're a third-party group that can evaluate your brand equity before and after events or whatever else. Like, okay, you lost that money. Just like prime example, people. Let's break this down into terms everybody probably knows. Let's say you do the Super Bowl halftime show. Big Jon and I, we're going to hit the stage. We're going to do the Super Bowl halftime show, right? We're going to take a loss. We're paying for that. We're paying for the people that come in and set up the stage, background dancer salaries, dude over there on the saxophone, young lady over here on the keyboards. We're paying all these people because we know that after this, we're going to go on tour, or we're going to have a Vegas residency, or we're going to go on tour, and we're going to recoup these amounts of dollars. So that show, whatever we spent, if we spent $10 million on that show, I know I'm about to make $70 million. I'm about to make $50 million. I'm about to make $40 million. So I'm on 4x what I just spent. I'm on 7x what I just spent. This would need to be something just like that, where if they're going to lose money in New York at the event, they're going to recoup those dollars out here. Something else is going on. But this is not just the only thing that has happened. Fanatics put out baseball uniforms that was see-through, and the stitching was not. There have been certain things that have happened in a short period of time. This is just one more thing on top of that. But there have been other things happen. But believe me, this is no bash Fanatics night. But when you come to What's the Play, we keep it real. This is what's been happening. This is in the news. You could Google search anything that we're talking about, and it has happened. Sideline, he breaking records for sure. They're losing season, overshadowing his historic. Yeah, I mean, Shannon Sharp, Gronk, other people have talked about Bowers and who this dude is. They recognized early in the game. Just like if you saw Gronk early, you kind of knew. I hate to say this, if you saw Aaron Hernandez playing tight end, he was on another level. The blocking in that scheme in New England, you got to block and you got to catch the rock. And you got to run a route. Chad, hit the like button. The sub. Machado, appreciate you. Appreciate everybody that's up in here. Ask your questions. We will get to them. And at least give you what we know or what we're thinking about when we talk about it.
Yeah, so going back to Fanatics, I just went to Bloomberg and read something real quick. Mm-hmm. In 2022, they're evaluated at $31 billion.
Okay.
This year they're down to $25 billion.
This is what I'm saying. So
that's
when
what the evaluation are after Fanatics Fest.
That's right.
Where they're thinking about doing sales of employee stocks.
Yes. So now you have lost $20 million in an event, but it has eroded your brand equity and the value of your company because somebody is sensing something about how these people, what's their strategy, and how are they going to bat with business. That's great information, Big Jon.
Mm-hmm. So we got a question from Machado here. Did we cut any Reese's Pieces Angel Reese boxes?
Hold up. Over here. Got it.
And of course we did. Of course we got it. We still
Hold up. Turn that box back around. Turn that box. What are we wearing? What is that?
She got clothes on.
Yeah, she dressing. She got that girl dressing. Now, what is the 222 and the 7? What is that?
Total college assists and number of magazine covers. So 222 college assists and seven magazine covers so far.
I like it. It.
It ain't sold yet, Machado. It's on eBay, but it ain't sold yet. When I pick one up, I know Jerry from the Quiet Car Podcast, he sold a bunch of them. So,
and Angel Reese is at the game tonight. The Orlando Magic Knicks thing sitting here. Did you see in her podcast? She asked the professional stylist, what she do. I guarantee she's going to start looking different. Mm-hmm. To me, she should hire all these people. May not want to pay for it, but we talk about Fanatics Fast brand equity. To me, anybody that's trying to get something done, social media, in movies, should have a stylist that they're working with on their brand image, because this is really a brand image. What do you look like? And a lot of people look like they dress themselves. So
some people can dress. Some people have stylists who make no sense. You don't want to be out being Kyle Kuzma now.
Yeah, he just goes over the top.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you're boiling water and it starts pouring out of the pot. Kyle Kuzma's on that level. You see, he announced this year, I'm gonna stop doing that, but they're still probably trying to get itself together again for getting out of Washington. You can't be a clown. Nobody wants to bring a clown to that city, man.
So the pool party should be over with soon. Kuzma should be out of there soon.
Well, the pool party's been over. So He'll probably find another place to go play basketball.
All that should be over. You know, this the rookie with Alex R, who didn't want to go to Atlanta. Atlanta balling right now.
Yeah, that's right now. That's right now. Machado, Big Jon, you still sniping cars on eBay? One of them recent pickups.
Oh, you can see him good here. Got CM Punk out of 199.
Okay.
Got some eBay, Brother Love, 199. Got to a Whatnot break and got that. You know. Hulk Hogan. Fan favorite Tomatora.
Hulk Hogan's about to get a new job, right?
Job doing what? In Becky Lynch.
I heard he might have a new job.
Let's see. I'm not a Hogan fan, so
neither am I.
But I know a bunch of people are.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I heard he might have a new job. I wonder what that will be though, but we'll see.
We shall see. It won't be with The Rock, I tell you that.
No, Rock ain't feeling that. Y'all spam them hearts until they get arthritis with me. Funny. Machado FD, how was the front row car show? I thought it was a very good show. To me, it just showed me what's going on. Like, I think that show is indicative of what's going on other shows. First of all, great show, organized, security, felt safe in there. You know, it's a lot of stuff going on at other shows that's not going on at the front row show, and not really going out on any show from Premiere, Burbank. There are people around that are making those shows very, very safe. So I appreciate that. Very organized, very clean. A place to eat. Bathrooms that there was no long line. They did a great job in organizing. On tables. So you go to a price band. Some cars are a little overpriced, but I wouldn't say grossly overpriced, but a little bit. A little overhead from the vendor, their time, setup, expenses of being there. You kind of embedded in those car prices. A lot of them was willing to negotiate with you, though. Some were not. We know that's the case at any show. Most cars under $350. A lot of stuff not numbered, but I mean that goes along with the price. Busy show though, foot traffic. It was a good show.
The dealers, how they charge price? Oh, for the most part.
Did they have that cars price?
Yeah. Yes.
What I saw, yes.
Okay.
Some people did not, but for the most part, it felt like things were priced.
I still think that's the one thing that show promoters should mandate: pricing your cards in your showcase. I understand you just bought something at the show, but like you come in the show early bird, your card should be priced. Like,
oh, you know how that goes.
I know how it goes.
You know you got to put that work in up front. You know, I'm not saying people are, negligent of things, but you got to put the work in if you want your cards to be priced right.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Anthony, what's his name? Greg Anthony's son? He cut his dread? Cut his.
Oh, I know you're talking about
Cole Anthony. He cut his. He's got a fade out here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm shocked.
Is he balling? I got a Cole Anthony auto somewhere.
I believe heavily in him his rookie year. I had several Cole Anthony cards.
I got a Cole Anthony Court Kings auto numbered to something. It's in a box somewhere in the closet.
Yeah, Raiders fans deserve better. Oh, hopefully y'all get him.
Let's talk about Franz Wagner. You know, he's balling.
He's taking advantage. He's taking advantage of Paulo being out.
Mm-hmm.
He's handling his business. Orlando needs to change their uniforms, though. Go ahead.
I don't know what his cars are doing.
They seem to be holding value. There's not crazy stuff going on there, but they're holding some stuff. Burbank is next shop open yet? No, it's not open yet. And what happened to Burbank taking their warehouse inventory to Fanatics? I think that's already happened.
No, I just bought a car from them off of eBay. So I just bought a wrestling car. So all their stuff not off. I don't think they're putting new inventory on eBay for them. Well, that's wrong too because I just bought a recent release of a wrestling car from them. So,
but they do have a store on Fanatics Live, right?
Yeah, they got a Fanatics Live account now. Maybe on there, so maybe it's still in transition.
Or maybe the agreement was to take so much over, not everything.
Do you have a Fanatics Live account? You don't see the type.
I do not. I don't what?
You don't break, so I would assume you wouldn't.
Well, you can still buy singles off there, right? You said Fanatics Live, not Fanatics. Not Fanatics. No, Fanatics Live. I do not have an account. I don't buy in the breaks typically. I haven't since Sam Darnold and Saquon Barkley were rookies. Last time I bought into a break that I remember. Last time I bought into a break. Let's talk about that. When you buy into a break, do you feel like, and this chat, this is for you too. Do you feel like you benefit from that? Do you recoup your buy-in price? Are you getting cards? Have you gotten something that you can either resell for a higher value or something that's memorable to you?
Well, first things first is that when you buy into a break, what is the reason you buy into a break, right? I do it for the same reason that card shops for me are closest to 45-minute drive from a good one. 45 minutes to an hour drive from a good one. Mm-hmm. I don't have that time to take out of my day to get off work and go. And then most of the car shops that are around me close at 5 p.m. So even if I got off at 4, I'm going to be not going to make it there before they close. Mm-hmm. So 2 breaks, I'm only looking for my teams. I'm not looking for, in the most part, I'm not looking for the resale stuff. I'm not buying what I don't want. You know, my rule is I got to be able to just be okay with being stuck with it if I can't sell it. So I'm not the gambling for the most part, just getting random teams, trying to hit the Chase Wemby or the Chase Paul schemes or the Chase Color Blast, this and that. Mm-hmm. But in the same token, you're not going to hit those cards more than likely locally. So buying in the breaks gives you a better odds at what you're getting from other people in other places. Because there's so many boxes, so much stuff printed that you can't think your local car shop is just going to be the shop that's going to have it. And then we all know retail, you're not getting your money back from retail for the most part in any product. So I think breaking is good. And without breaking, you'll never be able to buy your singles, FD.
True. I've said this. Breaking is it's needed in the ecosystem of the hobby. I have several cards, and I know the people that broke them. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. But I still don't buy. I just still don't buy any breaks. I just wait for the matriculation of that card.
So, yeah, but this Brother Love card is a perfect example. I got into this whatnot break for this spot for $5. I got a $2 card. It is what it is. But it was a case break, and it $5 at the time didn't seem like a bad thing for me to spend, knowing that I just sold a card for $5. So it was a good. All right, let's test my luck. See if I can hit an auto or something good out of this spot here. Everything. This is for chat. Hobby your way, hobby where your budget see fit, but make sure you're doing it smart. We're not running up credit card debt. We're not borrowing money to chase things. Just do things responsibly.
Hey, you could be boring like me and pay cash for everything.
Mm-hmm.
That keeps me away from all of that. It just keeps me away from it. It keeps me honest. It makes me, if I really want something, I got to purge through the cards that I have. So, I get it. But Big Jon and I just gave you 2 different perspectives about breaking. We also gave you 2 different respects for breaking.
Mm-hmm.
I've had breakers on here. I've interviewed breakers. We got love for breakers. We're not a channel or a group or a podcast that hates on that portion of the ecosystem of the hobby.
The big thing is watch people who you break with, especially if you want to spend money on something expensive. We all got Instagram, right? We all see people breakers on their stories, they live breaking. If I go into a room and the first thing they do when they see me pop in is, Big Jon, we got this to sell, I'm probably out the room next. Like, hi. Hi, welcome. Where's the welcome to the room? There's Instagram, whatnot, Loop, Fanatics. At least welcome me into the room before you start pitching what you're selling. Most of these channels, I clicked on your room because I see what you're selling already. But I will sit and watch, will be at work listening to a lot of different breakers before I ever decide to go in and spend my money with them. Quick Google that breaker name, let you know if they've been in something shady or not. Quick YouTube review, let you know how many bad responses they got from great breaks. As much as we hear the stories of Breaker X taking somebody's card and they're taking the community to make things right by putting pressure on them, by calling them out for it, a lot of that could possibly be avoided if people did their research before they spent their money. This person always sends out their big cards. Just breaker hits big cards on a regular and they send out. They don't have any issues. So did you see that? One breaker, I think it's not prime time breaks, prime something break. But they have over $1 million debt with what do you call the company that send out cards? A distributor.
How you get $1 million debt with a distributor?
And they stopped paying. They still accepted the product and stopped paying for it, and we're still breaking the product and whatnot.
That's wild, man. I guess they were thinking we're going to break these cards and make this money and pay $1 million back. No.
Mm-hmm.
Big Jon, you know who's playing tonight?
Who's playing?
Golden State and the Nuggets.
All right, let's talk about greatness as we normally do. I've been seeing a lot of things where people are saying that Joker is one of the greatest basketball players ever played, and I just can't vibe with that. I think he's elite. I don't know. You got people saying he should win the MVP already with 20 games, and I don't see it.
You sure you don't see something there?
I don't see him as the greatest player to ever play. I don't see him as a top 5 player to ever play.
No, I would. Somebody said he's
baby.
Yeah. Hold up. Somebody said that the Joker is top 5.
Yes.
Well,
there are people saying he's the best player in the league this year.
Oh yeah, people gonna say that. I mean, that's marketed and media. People gonna say he's fresh off a championship. People gonna say that, but the Joker is not top 5 all time.
No.
And I respect those who say they think he is. I respect that. But that's not.
That's not how I see him.
Not how I see him either. Joker's a very good big man.
Mm-hmm.
I always say this. So, to me, he has great games when there's no center on the court. But that's the
thing. How many 20 of the 30 teams don't have a center?
That's what I'm saying. So he's doing the same.
You can do your thing when other teams when we play 5-out basketball now.
We got Ron So Hobby in the house.
All right. We got our guest.
Hey, what's going on? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Crystal clear. How you doing, sir?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing well.
All right. Thanks for having me on the show.
We have a great guest, young man in the hobby, Ron So Hobby. Good to see you, man. Good to talk to you. You know,
sir.
So give us your background. Tell us about yourself.
Oh man, well give me some. Ask me something. I don't know where to start at, man. So much.
Where you from? When did you get in the hobby? You know, what's your sport?
Okay,
what sports do you follow?
So I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. I grew up there. Moved down here to Texas about 3 years ago. Spent some time in Maryland before moving down here. I got into sports cards around COVID time. My ex-girlfriend's father-in-law had a collection, and I guess he was doing some research at the time, and he just, let me get a few cards from his collection. And I didn't take it too seriously during COVID because I was kind of looking at the Pokemon market, TCG market. Then eventually, years later, once I seen oh man, this is something people take seriously, because I wasn't aware that people took sports cards so seriously at the time, but I was aware that they were taking TCG seriously. And so I say I began taking sports cards more seriously this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
and my sport is, I would say, mainly basketball.
Okay.
I got one question though. I want to clear up. You said your ex-girlfriend's father-in-law.
Father-in-law, yes.
Walk me through how does that.
So let me see. I'm gonna see if I can find the old picture of it, man. He had a lot of stuff.
So just walk me through
ex-girlfriend father-in-law.
Walk me through that, Mr. Charlotte. Walk me through that.
Okay, which part, man? Which part?
Did she get
married? How do you have a father-in-law?
Yeah, how do you have a father-in-law?
Did she get married? Her father-in-law.
That's what I'm saying. Did she get married later?
Her stepfather.
Okay.
Her stepfather. My bad.
You saying, were you dating a married woman? What?
It was a stepfather. No. It was a stepfather.
That was good.
But let me see if I can.
We ain't gonna judge you. What's that mean going around? We don't judge, but
I'm talking. He said, "Hold up." Okay, let's see. I don't know if it's archived.
So, Ron, how old are you? Because you kind of.
I turned 29 on October 9th.
Nice. 29. So yeah, I'm almost 40. FD is
40, man. You look young.
FD's older than everybody else.
I'm 49, but I have a son that's birthday is October 16th.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hey, man. So, how long have you guys been in the hobby as I look for these photos?
Big Jon, break it down.
So me, everybody knows I kind of the same situation. I collected as a kid, sports cards, comic books. Grow older, go to college to get out of it. Pandemic, I got back in it because I was able to flip some Pokemon boxes, but I'm a sports fanatic, so I kind of started keeping the sports cards to myself.
Yeah.
But it's somewhat everybody's kind of the same thing. Besides, we all got that love for that sports, and I love my teams. We Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, and I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
So
tell me this: is it? And I found the photos and stuff like that. Well, it's stories, but is it bad if someone doesn't follow sports but wants to be in the sports car? It's a lot of things I want to cover in this, man. Because I'm new.
You can ask any question. You can ask any question you have. We'll give you our perspectives. Our perspectives are not the only perspectives, but we'll give you.
Yeah. I said, man, so many things that I've already experienced, like just being in a hobby, like just from so many angles of the spectrum or whatever. But I'll show you guys this real quick. So let's see, you guys. Where is it at? Okay.
99 one complete set.
Okay. Can you see it?
Yeah.
And this is all his stuff.
A lot of old wax.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why we want to have you on, Ron, because everybody always says you got to get the young people back in the hobby, get the young people in the hobby. And you go talking about kids. But you're a young guy, and you were making good content out there. You're in the hobby, you have a goal. And you want to kind of explore that. And again, like FD said, ask us any questions. So you said you don't follow sports, you don't watch sports, or
no. So I do, but I'm not like a stat addict or like I'm catching every game or anything like that. Like I watch the highlights. If it's a good game from, let's say the Ravens, I'll go watch the highlights if everyone is talking about it. But I'm not going to go, download the app to watch the Ravens game on my TV or anything like that. I haven't watched probably a full NFL game in like 6 months, maybe.
Yeah.
Been a long time, but so it's just want to know if can I just like sports cars itself without having to follow teams and follow players and all these different things.
Yeah, of course you can.
Mm-hmm.
But I think not following sports gives you a different emotional attachment. Like you probably don't have that same emotional attachment when moving a card either way as I do. Like it's hard for me to get rid of a Kobe White card. It's hard for me to get rid of a Chicago Cubs card because I am emotionally attached to that because that's my fandom.
Mm-hmm.
The same way, like, if it's a Packers card, I can't get rid of that thing fast enough. Take it for free, 10 cents. I don't care.
You said who? You said Panthers?
Yeah, like, cause
Let me see what I got. I think I got it. Where is it at? That's not it.
So you could fall into one or two camps where you're making moves, smart moves, and getting rid of stuff quicker because you're not attached to it.
Oh, you got that cam.
The cam.
Yeah. His rookie.
Is that a number card?
Is this number? I don't think it's numbered.
I'm pretty sure all of that was well sought after.
At one point, yeah.
Well sought after.
Yeah. What was that, like 2014 or something like that? 15?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So from my perspective on your question is that I don't think you have to do anything in any aspect of life. Definitely not the hobby.
Mm-hmm.
What are some things can enhance how you make your decisions on what you want to purchase. So you want to purchase stuff because you like it, and that's very valid. And nobody can authenticate that for you. So what you like is what you like. It's like anything else in the world. You know what I'm saying? You got food that you like. You got environments you like to be in. You might want to listen to music in a certain place. These are things that you like that are true to you. So the hobby is the same way. Now, if you want to buy cars to move, again, it's about how you want to buy cars to move. If you want to buy cars to hold long term, watching sports may help. At the end of the day, I always tell people that it's best for you to make your own decisions for what you want to do. A lot of times there are people who listen to other people and they don't really know why they're doing what they're doing. They haven't figured out their own passion or steps that they go through to make a decision. This is no different than any other aspect of life, though. So know what you want to do and why you want to do it, and then you will be true to yourself and what you're doing. And buy people that you like to watch or you like to own, and then I think you'll find more resolve in that than just listening to what other people are talking about.
What if it's just strictly numbers?
Oh, to me. So if you're gonna ask me strictly numbers, you gotta know buy. And the best way for me, I'm only speaking about myself, to know who to buy is to actually watch sports.
To actually watch
and then internalize what's going on. Not just look at the stat sheet at the end and say, Big Jon had 24 and 12, but how did he score those 24? How did he grab those 12 rebounds? Can he replicate that? Now, if he's replicating that, if he gets his career to that point in football, basketball, baseball, whatever, can he be consistent? Is he consistent at what he or she is doing? Now, when they start getting on that road, then you start talking about players are great because of the consistency level.
Yeah. Now, when I say strictly numbers, is like, let's say you at a sports car booth, right, and you see a few cars there, and you're like, maybe I can flip these. And you don't even look up statistics of like the player stats and all that stuff. You go straight to eBay, straight to Car Ladder, Market Movers, or whatever. You're like, oh, this card has consistently sold for $300. So I'm gonna just buy this car for try to get it at 80% or whatever, and just do it that way. Is that a bad way to approach it?
It's not a bad way to approach it. I think it's kind of how we all approach it when we're talking about selling cars and buying cars. We want to see something that's liquid, so we call cars like that liquid. But when it comes to numbers, everybody says numbers don't lie, but I always say numbers tell the story you want to tell, right? So that car that's selling that you've seen sold for $300 consistently for the past month, what if that person's injured now? Yeah. So you're gonna have a hard time reselling that for $300 if he's injured and out for 3 months, like a Zion Williams, because nobody's gonna be buying it at that price. So those are things where you want to be able to have that knowledge of this person suspended, this person got some personal issues. Are they, we just seen LaMelo Ball go off for 3 40-point games and more. And
he pulled his calf.
He pulled his calf, and now he's out. So everybody started back buying him because he was hot, and then he's injured again, and now it goes right back down. So, you're not wrong, but watching or at least paying attention to the headlines of that player can help you make a smarter, informed decision.
Yeah.
Right.
So I can tell you, I follow sports all day long. I am doing something with following and understanding but I'm on that. Most people are not doing that. But I'm following right now. We're talking. I'm watching Golden State play Denver over here.
Who's winning?
Right now, let me see.
If I
think Golden State's winning.
Golden State is up.
Okay. I believe slightly up.
Okay.
But that's me though. I'm always following, trying to understand what's happening. What are the trends on players? Are they healthy? What do they do? All that jazz.
So So you're in Dallas, right? So I'm gonna assume you go to the Dallas car show, or let me go back a little bit because Machado asked a good question.
Okay,
Do
all
you-
right.
Do you flip cards? What are you doing in the hobby? Are you flipping? What are your hobby goals, or what are you? Are you just making content and what you're buying? What are you doing in the hobby?
Man, like, okay, I'm gonna tell you this, man. So I spoke to someone recently, and they've been observing what I've been experiencing, right? And they said, Ronnie, you are being pulled left and right, not doing what you actually want to do, right? And he was kind of right in that sense. But for the most part, the purpose of Ronzo Hobby was to document a journey within sports cars to see what it takes for an average guy to go from $0 to 100,000 in a sports car hobby, right? However long it took, it was no timeline on or anything like that. No 0 to 100,000 in a year or anything like that. Just however long it takes, and then just document it. But 100,000 profit, like total, right? Having that summed up, not just a accumulation of 100,000 over, buying and selling or whatever.
Okay, so how did the journey start? Take me through the start of this journey for this.
The start of the journey. Okay, let's see, man.
Like, where you just come? Did you come out to decide to buy retail? Did you try to decide to buy singles? What was your game plan?
So yes, the game plan was to buy, I guess, hobby boxes, retail packs, things like that, and just try to pull a good card. And then I went to a sports car shop, and I seen like just different cars that I could buy, and I'm like, okay, because I came into this thing with like literally not truly aware of what the sports car hobby is. It's kind of like I'm completely stumbling through this thing and literally just creating as I go. Right. So I'm buying packs, I think from like Walmart, just different outlets at first. Walgreens, as you can see on some of my older posts. And so I'm just buying these cards, and then I end up first I'm buying the packs, and then I'm buying the cards. And I'm like, okay, I can like sell these things, but where do I, sell them at and stuff like that. And so I come across Investabilia, and another event, I believe. And I just went there and I was just exploring, man. I went to card shops and just being able to see what's possible, just discovering things and allowing something to happen, right? I'm allowing it to unfold to me, basically. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. And I think a lot of people getting knew how they kind of had the same thing. You kind of wandering aimlessly, right? You there's a lot to take in, and you don't know exact. I was the exact same way. Mm-hmm. I was in the line at Target, just asking people in line, "What should I be buying today? What are you buying?" Right? Because I'm trying to make money, but kind of not afraid, not knowing what the questions I should be asking. Yeah. So I'm asking it very fast, like, "What are you buying? Or where do you sell it at? How much is it reselling for?" But not actually at that point ask questions like I know now. What's the chase? What's the number? What are the hit rates? What can I get out of this product? So
yeah. And I know that when you go to retail, there are certain cards that's going to be in those packs at retail. There's certain cards that will not.
Yeah, I've learned that. I've discovered that. Yep. They're between hobby, mega, all that stuff. So, and I say, also along the journey, I realized that, I was good at something, which was creating content, right? Or recording videos initially. I was already good at, record videos, but then bringing it to the sports card, bringing it to sports cars. I'm trying to remember where I was leaving, man. I want to say I was leaving Investabilia.
Is that a car shop in Dallas, or?
It's hosted by the Dallas Car Show.
Okay.
No, okay, yeah, that's what it was. It was Collecticon. I went to Collecticon with the sense of trying to, like, I was more so looking at TCG stuff. And so I went to Collecticon, and there, you know, I started seeing sports car stuff. There, I was recording content, just TCG content initially. If you look at some of my older posts, you would see a video of me and Leonhardt.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if y'all know who Leonhardt is.
That's a Pokemon
influencer, big Pokemon influencer. And so I did a video with him. And so I was did a video with him, recorded some stuff at Collecticon. And once I had left Collecticon, I was like, man, let me, like, you know, check out more shops and all these different things, as well as throughout that looking at sports cars and things like that. And so then I went to a sports car shop, and I believe while at that sports car shop, I believe it was FYE Sports Cars. And I just randomly went in there, you know, talking to the guy and things like that, just recording content. And the sports car shop owner, and the sports car shop is now called Limelight Sports Cars, I believe, Limelight Sports or something like that. And so I was in there just, you know, recording content, you know, people, the cars, just things that's happening. And the owner was like, man, we actually need, you know, somebody to record content for us in the shop. You know, but that was an opportunity that kind of didn't turn into anything. But I eventually took that as an idea, like, oh, snap, this is something that people actually are looking for. And so I went to another shop, Milton's Collectibles, and I was went in there randomly to just actually buy some sports cars. And I seen how the shop was and seen everything, looked at his social media page, and I was like, dang, you don't really have any content for, like, your shop or anything. And so I just asked him if they need, you know, a social media guy or something like that. And he said, yeah. And so I started doing social media content for Milton's. And from Milton's, I went to Investabilia. And at Investabilia, that's where I met Andrew. If you've seen some of the stuff I do with Andrew as well. So yeah, it's a whole culmination of stuff. So I'm trying to, like, yes, sell sports cards, but also seeing that I have a skill in recording and creating content. And over time, it's just gotten better and better. So I'm like, okay, this can also add on to a stream of income to buy sports cars instead of trying to use my income from my job to buy sports cars. I'd rather just keep it all in sports cars so it's easier to track and not commingle, I guess. But some people just say, man, use your money from your job and just, you know, build your bankroll and buy it that way. Buy them that way.
Your content, one thing I love about your content, it is extremely naturally positive. Mm-hmm. Right? It's a lot of energy and a lot of that. I can tell that you enjoy what you're doing when you make your content. When I go watch on YouTube and I see you on Instagram, even when you're having a bad day with things going on with your personal life, like the car and stuff, it's still very positive energy that you exude. And I hope you never lose that, because that what brought me. Like, I want to get to know this guy a lot more.
Yeah,
I love that about you. You know, just, you know, somebody who just watch, and if nobody ever told you, just keep it up, man, because you do good content.
Thank you. And I want to show you something, man. Like, I know I've been kind of stagnant on the long form stuff on my end, but watch this.
Check out his content because it's some good stuff.
Just picked this up.
Okay.
Pocket 3, man. So I got I have some plans. I got some plans, man, to really take it up another notch. I'm gonna try my best to take it up another notch with the content, and we're gonna see, you know, what I can produce. But I appreciate that, man, and I try to stay positive all the time. I'm pretty optimistic in the midst of whatever is going on. But I'm human. I get angry. Whatever is happening, I face those same situations like everybody else. But I do try to stay positive as much as possible.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Thank you. But this is a question or something that I want to kind kind of dive into when it comes to sports cards, right? So sports cards, the collectors, I took notes on this actually. Let me see where that. So the manufacturers establish the designs, right? The collectors control the demand, and flippers maintain the value. And card shows and card shops are like hubs, right?
Yeah.
So would you say that's accurate?
I would say also there's more than flippers that are involved in what the value of the card is. But the flippers are a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think, collectors are the end users, and they ultimately control the value, right? Because
volume.
The flippers control the value, but the collectors control the value. Because once it gets to me as a PC item, there's not likelihood that it's going back for anybody that's PC and actually collecting, right? Especially when you get to the higher end stuff, and you get to the 5-figure cards that regular people are work their way to, that card may not come back out for years. You know, I'm sure FD has cards that he has no plans on moving in the next 5-10 years, unless something astronomical happens, and he still might not move.
So I'm one of those people in the hobby that once cards are going through the ecosystem and they hit my hand, I put them away for a long period of time.
Yeah, I already know. I can tell by the hat. You got a bunch of Jordan stuff, don't you?
I got some. I would like to have more.
Okay.
I love Steph Curry.
Okay. I gotta.
And it goes to this comment. LP says, "Stick to the GOATs." Prospect if you like the player. Oh yeah, the Steph card, Olympic card. Yeah, he says prospect if you like the player and pray he doesn't get hurt, but stick to the GOATs if you are trying to make some moves that are more liquid, like Big Jon was talking about.
Oh snap! So this is live. People can watch it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
man.
Like for me, for the most part, my cards, the one more rule when I told my wife we talked about this is I have to be okay with holding the card, getting stuck with the card. I can't buy something and it not sell for more and take a loss, and I'm not okay, and it's hurting the family budget. So it has to be something that I'm okay with being the end user, which is why most cards I collect are my teams. And then the cards that I prospect has a lot of research involved in it. So a lot of looking at card letters, and then a lot of decision making before I decide to send it off to PSA to grade, because a lot of stuff I need 10s on to resell it. As you see in this market,
Machado says here, I'm a collector. I got Kobe cards that's going to the casket with me.
Not the casket, man. Let him hit the market again.
No, I definitely that's when Tyler got the cards that he probably put in his will. This one's going on the ground with me.
Apparently, there's a guy that goes to a lot of car shows known as Kobe Collector, and it's like he's just known to have like all the high end Kobe, any Kobe you can think of, he just has it. So yeah, but something I wanted to ask you all, and this is definitely going to get technical, right? All right, and this is kind of trying to look into the future of the sports card market, right? Sports cards right now, as someone that's new in the hobby, it still looks like it's bartering, you know. Like you going into the market, you trying to buy your fish, your onions, green peppers, like literally in a market of like, you know, let's say India. That's what it kind of looks like or seems like. Just going into this booth, I want to look through the collection of cards, physical cards. I'm like, all right, let me buy this one, exchange for this, let me get this one. When would there be some sort of like, or what do you guys see for technical advancement or technological advancement for sports cards outside of, I mean, of course, there's digital platforms. You got Alt, you got eBay, all these things, but something else besides car shows or card shops. Do you think there will be a new move outside of that?
Well, it seems to me that the car shops that are opening right now, some of the bigger ones, have a brick and mortar where you come into and you can do whatever you want to do. But in that brick and mortar, they got breaking stations. They got people that specialize on every selling platform from Loop to eBay to whatever. So they're doing business outside of that building, but they're also doing business in the building. They have a station where you can you can submit your cars to get graded by your favorite grading company. So they're doing everything out of brick and mortar that you can think of. I think there's going to be more of that than when I grew up. A car shop was one place for you to come to. They didn't relate at all with the outside world, and they priced cars and did everything in house, and that was about it. So unless you came into the store, they were never doing business with you. So there's going to be places, I think, in the future. I think also for card shows, a car show now, no disrespect to anyone. There are some flea market aspects to it. Right?
Yeah.
There's no disrespect to any show. And when I say flea market, I mean that I walk in, I go to Big Jon's table. I don't know what he has on the table until I come up. Or I got to look around.
See, what's his name? Hit it right there. What is that? McAdoo?
Machado.
My bad. Machado Sports. He hit it. And that's something that's kind of what I was trying to hint at.
NFTs?
Not necessarily NFTs, right? And so what are you gonna say?
So when I think what you're kind of leaning to is like what companies like with Mascot is trying to do for car shows, where I can say I'm setting up a car show, I can go put my whole inventory on their digital platform, and you can go look and see what I have what I'm going to have at the table, and you'll make an offer there, start a deal, and have an idea when you go to Big John table. Hey, I see it on this platform. You had this card. Can we make a deal? So I also think
yes,
and I also think that's what companies like Arena Club had the vision when they started out as to being an online trade show, to bring that car show vibe to an online experience, and which they've not done well because they're all about repacks and stuff like that. Their identity has changed from their inception. But you have companies like with Mascot that is partnered with like Burbank, has partnered with Fanatics Labs, has partnered with the Philadelphia show, where vendors can put their inventory on there beforehand, and you as a consumer, if you're going to the show, you can go look through what's at their table before you get there, and in some cases, buy it online, and get it sold immediately, and get them to take it out their display so they can send it to you.
Okay, all right. So that answers my question. Now,
but also we've had some NFT like product, like we talked about here, Top Shot. This stuff is coming and filtered out and failed.
Courtyard IO, even Arena Club slab packs, they're NFT-ish.
Yeah, I've seen a few of those like online pack openings. So tell me this. Let's go a little bit deeper then. So why isn't there a overall index for sports cards, right? So I go to a sports card show or shop. The sports car owner is like, I only use 130 point. And I'm getting most of my comps from eBay. So we can't meet that agreement there. Then I go to a card show and it's like I only use market moves. So I only use card ladder.
Yeah.
And so then a deal doesn't happen there. And so what I'm seeing is that there isn't a overall I guess index or something that just verifies the price of this sports car, even with outliers, right? Because evidently outliers don't matter either in the sports car hype, right? You have a car consistently selling for, let's say, $300, and then boom, you have a $600. Then go further into it, you may see even $1,000, right? But if you try to go off of that $1,000 comp, you're not going to be able to sell the car at that value. So I'm just like, when would there be a index created, right? I guess you could say
so like
a Oracle index or something like that, right?
MRSP for secondary selling, basically. And the problem is, one, sports car hobby is not, there's no regulatory body, right? So there's no government body that sets, even Fanatics, right? If Fanatics came off with a pricing guide, you would see more people go to that because that's the company that's now going to be running cards. But just as little as 20 years ago, people were using a Beckett magazine to price cards, and that's what we priced them at.
Yeah,
and
but what are you gonna say?
And now with Market Movers, Card Ladder, 130 Point eBay, that's 4 different places where you can go, not including Alt, Fanatics Collect. There's a lot of different places that sell cards that you can pull your comps from. That suits whatever you want. Again, where I say numbers can tell the story you want to tell, because it's what we're looking at.
And that's what I want to get to, man. Is like, so I had put out a post where it's like there's it's evident that some type of change is going to happen, but when it happens, it's whenever, right? And so whatever this structure that needs to happen that I believe needs to happen for the sports card market, where you don't have situations like that, where you look at Card Ladder, or you look at Market Movers, or you go to eBay, like all these places that you respect for the comps, then why not just have this new, governance body for sports card that everyone just respects, using artificial intelligence. Using artificial intelligence for everything else, what happens when it comes to the sports card market? Is it going to be good enough to govern these prices? To where you can kind of like the stock market in a sense, right? If you have, let's use an example. For example, Wemby's Mercury release, the Mercury release, right? If there's some type of artificial intelligence that is regulating the fluctuations in prices and helping to kind of mitigate it, so it's not, so it's understood, there's an official understanding of the price between buyers and sellers of the Mercury product. Because you may look at, again, Market Movers, where a few of his cars are selling for, let's say, $300. And then you go to Card Ladder and they're selling for $500. And then you go to eBay, they're selling for $600. Where you have artificial intelligence, the official governance that allows for it to make sense, is creating this overall price to say, like, all right, this is the official price of the Wemby out of 10, out of 20 or 30 or whatever, right? This governance body that makes the price make sense for everyone. So when you do have those outliers, which like again, like I said before, people don't respect the outliers, but if you have artificial intelligence to kind of make the outliers fit into the price and everything else from all these other data points, because that's what I believe an Oracle does. If you have an Oracle, the Oracle is pulling data from all these platforms, and it just, I guess, centralizes it in a sense to make that price, official. I think that's what sports cards.
One thing I want to throw out there, though, all these different bodies that you look up prices on, kind of looking at the same data, though. So if I'm on 130 point, I've been at shows where I'm on one source and somebody else is on the other. We still see the same comps.
Yeah, but then again, now think about this. I was at the what was I at? Conroe Car Show, right? And you have someone looking at Card Ladder, and they're looking at the last couple of sales, and none of them are the same price. And so they decide, they just, all right, they don't even use the average. They just kind of decide, all right, I'll give you $250. Disregarding the past 10 sales that took place and only taking in regard to the last 3 or 4.
Are the last 3 or 4 higher?
They may be lower.
Well,
that's what
Big Jon said earlier. Usually, when I walk up to a table, a vendor is going to take a standpoint that benefits the vendor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take a standpoint that benefits me.
Mm-hmm.
So usually, when people want to knock out certain things and only add in certain things, it's probably because it yields a higher price for them.
You make the situation in your equitable.
I get 3 reasons why that's hard, right? I get 3 reasons why that's hard. So, car ladder takes a day or 2 to be put in because of verified sales. eBay, you have a lot of sales that are not paid. And 130 Point is a website where you can go look at all the sales from all the selling platforms. Right. So if I go share screen and we go to 130 Point website, you can see, you can ask the AI to pull from everywhere. You can ask it to pull from every platform: Golden, Heritage, eBay, Fanatics, Pristine, My Slabs. But it leaves out different platforms like Macari, Arena Club, other platforms as well. So that's one issue with what you are trying to want done, or what should be done. 2, you showed us that Cam Newton card, right?
Yeah.
Is that a PC card?
Yeah.
So now what you paid for it, what would be the price for another Cam collector to get that out of your hands? Would it be at what you paid for?
No.
Would it be at current market?
No. I mean, of course, it'll have to be more, right?
Right. So that is a problem, right? Because from your vantage point, you're okay with keeping that card unless you get significantly more for it. So it doesn't matter what it's selling for, or what the indexes tell us it should go for. It's a secondary market.
Yeah,
I have to. It's a me and you want to negotiate. I want this card. I'm willing to pay X. You're willing to sell it X. So it's a secondary negotiation. It's not.
And I want to say, and this is why sports cards are very unique, and I can't wait to see the innovations for it, right? Because it's like it's so much that could possibly, on a technological level, that could happen for it. But then you have situations like that where the card is at this value, but for you to get it from me, the index is showing it's worth $100, but to get it from me, you have to pay $150.
Well, that could be because the vendor perceives some kind of future increase in value in the card, and they're trying to get a piece of that before that value goes even further, and they want that piece from you.
Yeah, and I'm trying my best to compare or to create this connection between sports cards and stocks and certain blockchain technologies, and trying to see how to bring it together, because to me, sports cards are like, some of the methods just seem to be outdated. It seems like, but it makes sense from the standpoint, like, this is my physical item. It is my physical item. I own it. So how do we, I don't know, man. It's so many angles and layers to sports cards, and I'm trying to dissect and understand for that, to just have an official buying place, an official index for it to make sense, where you can't just go to a show and I have to sell you my cards for 85% for what their true value is, when there isn't a real fluctuation, or there isn't any real volatility in the market as opposed to what me and you are negotiating on. Like, the negotiation is the volatility. And that's you can't really do anything about that.
Yeah, but I don't think you can't ignore the volatility of the actual sport itself, the actual
yeah.
So that's going to play into the price itself. So again, if a player is playing off the chain and the car was just valued at $100 and they're consistent, they're doing all the GOAT-like or the young prospect, good prospect attributes, they're displaying that, that person may come up with a number that's higher than what comp is, because they're thinking those cars are going to go up in value, and they see a graph in their head and they see an uptick on the graph. So they're going to get a part of that uptick before it gets to another level, before it gets to $300. So they want to sell that 125, 150. And if you want that car from that person, then negotiation.
If you look like a Shohei Ohtani, who was in the playoffs, his cars were high, and they had a championship built into them because everybody perceives that this team is going to the championship. So I'm going to sell it higher now. If you go back and look after the season, he's already won the championship. He can do nothing else from a sports perspective to gain value. His cars have dropped again because, and then we also moved on to the sport that is now in season, basketball and football. So there's a lot of volatility in collecting sports cars that you don't see in TCG, because like everybody says, Charizard can't commit a crime. Charizard can't get injured, right? So that's why you see a more consistent pricing on.
But also, it's typical. It's me and you determining the price after he's injured.
Yeah.
Right. It's once he's injured, somebody sells it, is going to sell it online for, let's say, a Jordan Love card. Once he got injured, I know apparently his market tanked a lot. Let's say one of his cars is going for $1,000. Somebody just so happens to decide, since he's injured, I'm just going to sell it because I want to on the market for $300. And now this person has set the comp for Jordan Love at his injury.
Yeah, but
how do you
think probably needed the money, because a lot of people, you still have a lot of people holding cards they're underwater from. They bought FD high in 2020, 2021, and you have people still holding Lucas and Zions because they bought them high, and they don't want to take that 75% loss.
But the thing about it though is it's one person that did it. One person just allowed the whole Jordan Love market to drop by, what was that, 70%.
Well, you got to think though, one person is just one data point. That interaction, that sale is just one data point. There are going to be many others. So that one data point could be an outlier, a low sale, or that one data point could be what everybody is selling the car for.
LeDroit, no, that's not what I'm trying to do. That's not it. What I'm trying to understand how
how
to get a solid price, how to get a solid index for sports cars that everyone just agrees to.
So Ron, so you got this 100K challenge you gave yourself when you started your channel. Where are you? No, I'm thinking on it.
Okay.
Where do you sell your cards at? Do you sell it in person, or do you sell it online?
I've done online and in person, but mostly been in person.
All right, so I can say from sales online. If I got a card that's liquid and I want to make sure it gets sold, right? I'm in competition, and we just started the podcast with this, right? This card is online for so let's say cards. I pulled it from a pack, so I'm not into it for what I paid for it, right? I pulled it for a pack. It normally sells, and everybody has it for sale at $100. What's going to be the quickest way for me to get it sold quickly? To list it at $100, to list it over $100, or to list it at $90? What's going to get me the quickest way to get somebody to buy and pay for that card?
Just sell it for $90.
Right, and that's the dynamics that you're dealing with with trying to negotiate in person online, because online there's a race to the bottom.
Yeah. So
In
let me.
There's a. I'm into it for this. I'm into this car for this much. I have so much room.
Yeah.
So I can sell this car at 80, what it's selling online, because I only paid $30 for the pack. So I can sell the car for 80. I'm still making $50. You don't know that. You on your end thinking, hey, I'm getting it $20 cheaper than it's selling online. So now you think you have room to go sell to somebody else for 90 or 95.
Yeah. So let's say these two cars are the same cars, right? I own one and you own one. You own the same card as me, right? I sell my car before you. Now I have to base my prices. Now you have to base your prices off of what I sold my car for.
Why?
As opposed, because that's the comp.
You sold it in person, you sold it online.
That's the comp.
Did you sell it in person or did you sell it online?
Let's say
because
online.
The comp only was sold online. Yeah. I still don't have to take that loss.
If you sell it in person, people most likely are going to look at the comp and say, "Hey, man, last sale was Ronzo Hobby's last comp. I'm going to buy it at 85% of Ronzo Hobby's last comp."
Unfortunately, Ron, I'm into the car for more than that. I can't let it go for that long. I'm into the car for it.
I also equate other things. So when I go buy a car, I don't care what the number is on that window. I'm not paying that for the car. So a lot of times, I love to negotiate. So, and if a person is not willing to negotiate, if it's a car that is not rare, let me say, you don't see you walk away, you don't know the next time you're going to see that car for real. I'm going to try to negotiate that car.
Yeah.
So if the car is 130, I'm offering 85, 90 off top. And then I'm going to force that. This is just me. I'm going to force that vendor to work me up.
Yeah.
You got to work me up. Because I'm not coming in here and saying, oh, comps are 130, let me give you $130. Now, some people in the hobby think it's confrontational to negotiate. I do not think so.
Yeah, negotiation.
I don't think it's confrontational to negotiate, but there have been times where I've seen a car and I didn't know exactly how much it was, right? And me being like, so the shade I bought at the show here a couple months ago. I know how good Shay is. It's a rookie card. It was a beige rookie. The guy had it priced for $10. And I took one look at the card. The condition it was in, and I was like, you know what? $10 sounds like a good price. Here you go. We didn't negotiate. That sounds fair. Knowing what I know about cars. When I went home and looked it up, card sells for $11 on eBay. So the way I buy in person is, if I can get it for under what it's selling on eBay, including fees, I'm okay with that purchase. So I paid full comp for that card because I bought it for $10. If I'd have bought it on eBay, I would have paid $16 for that card, $10 for the card, $3 for the shipping, $3 for taxes. So is the comp $16 or is the comp $10? Right? Because are we including shipping in what this comp is? Because it's still money I spent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you comp a house, you comp house on the houses in that neighborhood or in that size, around the size, multiple, not just one. When you comp a car, you're doing it on one or two of the last sales. Most people are not looking at the shipping factor. In my negotiation, I take that factor into when I'm negotiating. Hey, I'm still saving money as a buyer. I don't have to pay shipping and I don't have to wait for it. I'm getting it immediately. And I got to look it over.
So tell me what you think about this. Did I interrupt a point you were making?
No, you're good.
Okay. Tell me what you think about this. So you know how in the stock market, right? If you want to buy a stock, it's best to buy the stock on the low, right? So what if there is like a stock market for sports cars, right? And the best time to buy the sports car, even through like, let's say it's an online, similar platform to a MetaTrader or online broker, who gives you access to the market at a fee, right? And depending on what amount of money you put into their brokerage, right? So let's say you have certain cars that you're trying to buy, right? Physically buy, but the only way you can buy the card is at the prices that the market buyers and sellers are determining this price at. And you no longer, like, eBay has to obey this, 130 point has to obey this. It's no longer this price that you have to guess in between, and no longer really having to deal with, I'm going to buy Big John's car at the price he wants me to buy it at, right? I'm able to buy it at the price that the market is determining. Now it's no more. I don't have to deal with the sentiment that you have with the card, right? The sentimental value that I like this card a lot. It's in my personal collection. I'm not selling it unless I get $250 because the market is determining that this card is only worth about $175 based off of the volume of buyers and sellers in the market. What do you think of that?
Well, let me ask this question. First off, we have a regulation of the stock market because of the impact it has on the economy. Right? We don't have that in sports cars.
And that's it. So I actually have that point here in my notes. I believe that the sports car market is limited by growth because of diversity by race and culture in relation to the support of the sports.
Say that again. Say what you just said again. I thought it said word before. Go say what you just said again.
He got a word.
All right, so the growth of the sports car market is limited by the diversity by race and culture in relation to the support of sports. Right? So I was watching a podcast where they were saying there's not enough people buying like into soccer. Right? Now, which area of the world mainly watches soccer?
Any place outside of America.
Exactly. And so it's like once they start buying, sports cars or even taking interest in NFL or baseball or even basketball, then I believe we'll begin seeing regulation and more things because it's a lot more money being handled. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it's about, is the sports car market like $10 billion, something overall, $10 billion, something like that?
That I don't know.
I can't remember. Somebody
I don't know. eBay usually comes up with their numbers, how much they sell yearly. So we'll be seeing that sometime in January or February from the sports cars division.
Yeah.
But Ron, like you make a lot of good points and good ideas, but unfortunately the infrastructure of how the hobby works isn't there. And then you also say you see what sounds to me what you want is like, hey, I can go buy this product, this car in Walmart for this price, and Target for the same price, and Walgreens for the same price. And that's not how secondary markets work, especially ones that are so unregulated as this one. And you would get more collectors your way, and it would take a lot of hobby businesses out of business, including car shops, doing it your way. Because there's a markup when you go to a car shop to buy a box than it is when you go to Walmart to buy a box. So there's a regulation needed and some infrastructure needed to where business can make a profit.
Yeah, but I think it brings in room for like a lot of money to be made. If it's kind of in a sense, it's not necessarily the stock market. It'll be its own invention, its own thing. But it has similarities to it, to where it'll be in the interest of the collectors, of people,
Kind of how you get art evaluated, and now this art has a market price.
Say that again.
Kind of like people who buy art. You can buy art, and then you get it evaluated, and then it's set at this price, right? It's evaluated at X amount of dollars. This Banksy card, a Banksy picture, this Picasso picture is now evaluated at this card, and you can use that as a stock.
Yeah. So, and the thing about art that's interesting is that it's so unique to the person that created it itself, as opposed to Topps sending it through a machine and just, you know, of course you have patches, autographs and stuff, but most likely it's just going through a machine, you know, to be created. And we are, since we're so invested into the sport itself, or so invested into trying to make, you know, money, we kind of disregard that aspect of the sports car as opposed to an art piece, where if you're looking at a Da Vinci piece, it's encoded with mysteries. Look at Picasso, it's encoded with the story of his life. You know, it's encoded with so many different things that makes you want to go, oh man, I need a Banksy piece, you know, as opposed to when you, with LeBron, you get a LeBron patch auto, it's like, oh man, I want to get the LeBron patch auto as opposed to the number card, because the number card was just, you know, limited supply print with the number on it. It's nothing that he actually touched, actually his, I guess, DNA attached to it, his essence attached to the piece. And that's something else I believe that the sports card market is going to go to as well, where like these patches and autographs are going to be like significantly high in like the next 10 or 15 years.
At least if it's game used, yeah. At least if it's game used. There's probably gonna be more significance on that.
Yeah.
Bro, what's your background, man? You're an analytical guy.
I'm an autodidact, man. I'm an autodidact. Self-taught. I love reading. I got a bunch of books.
What do you do for a living? High level. What do you do for a living?
No, I work at a warehouse, man. But to be completely honest,
there's more there. Come on with it.
Yeah, it's more there. When I was younger, in my early 20s, I was in like this kind of small incubation thing with some guys from Princeton. So I learned, like, it was some deep level learning stuff.
I can tell there's something there.
Yeah,
but I think Jordan Brown made a comment here. It would take a lot away from the reseller. I think people with the concept you're talking about could happen. I'm not saying that change is going to happen. But I think a lot of people will be concerned about what's that piece of the pie and what's going on with it. You know?
So say that one more time.
Like, what's their piece of the pie? So you're talking about, like, if I'm a shop owner, how much money am I losing with this new? It's regulated. So I used to work for a food manufacturer, and we shipped to groceries. In this instance, let's say grocery stores. Let's say some of them were corporately owned. Some of them were franchisee stores. Franchisee stores wanted to set their own price. They wanted to run their own programs. Buy this, get this free, buy BOGO, all that kind of stuff. But franchisee stores had lower prices. Regulated from corporate so that we know what things are going to sell like. The franchisee said, I'm gonna take a little bit more profit. Besides, with whatever deal you're running, I'm going to increase price to make sure that I'm getting more of the pie. And that's what people out here will be worried about. If I'm a shop owner, if I have a business online or anything like that with a regulated price, because in the hobby, the onus is still to me on the consumer. If I'm walking up to a table, if I'm online buying a card, I need to know not only comp, but is this card grossly overpriced? Where is this player going in their career? How price is going up? As the consumer, I need to know all of that. It's not on the retailer or whoever's selling the card. So almost, and I've said this before, the hobby or any open market is set up on the ignorance of the consumer. So if consumers are really intelligent and savvy in their buying habits, they buy a certain way. If they're not savvy in those buying habits, you spend money on things that you probably shouldn't spend money on, or you're spending more for something. If I go into a car dealership and I don't know the Kelley Blue Book value of the car that I'm looking for, year, model, make, the extras that's on it, and I'm just going in blindly, whatever the sticker says is what I'm happy with that sticker, because now that sticker is giving me information.
Yeah.
But if I come in already pre-approved by my credit union, if I come in knowledge of what Kelley Blue Book is telling me, and I know how low this car is sold for with the same features on it, and I know how high it is sold for, that I'm way more educated in this process than taking information from the salesperson. So if I walk up to a table at a show and I'm only listening to what Big John's talking about, and he's a seller, he has me in the palm of his hand.
Yeah.
But if I walk up knowing, I would say that's BS right there.
Yeah.
If this card is this, then I can go up to a table and start talking, and I can always tell by the vendor's eyes that they don't know what to say or do next. Because I'm coming up well educated on what I'm looking for. If it's Steph Curry, if it's Shea, if it's anybody else that I really like, I'm coming up well versed and talking about this card right here. I can look at the front of a card and tell you if it's numbered. All of that. So I'm pretty much educated. I check comps every day, almost before I go to sleep. So I'm already atypical to the average person coming up to a show. And if most vendors had to deal with people like me in the hobby, they're not getting too much of a profit. But if the average person walks up, I've been at shows, they see a Kobe card that's a rookie that's probably got a print run of $500,000, and that person is selling it at $125, but it's really worth $40.
Okay. So I think I don't know how it would look to just have I have an idea of how it would look, but let me put it like this. Let's say Topps is about to have a release. Typically, how they have that release is a Dutch auction, right? Sometimes they have a Dutch auction or some type of auction on the product, right? Sometimes, right? Now, what if Topps had a IPO for the release, in a sense? Does that make sense? Like everyone,
when you say IPO, meaning like we would know how many stocks are being offered, how many sets are being made, or what do you mean by that?
You buying into this will determine the price of it.
How would that work at the initial buy?
So let's say Topps has, we'll call it, I don't know, Topps Chrome Epic, right? And Topps Chrome Epic is being released tomorrow. And so what Topps would do is say, hey, we're going to release this product, but we're going to let the market determine the value of it. These are the cards that are going to be in it. We want you guys to kind of, bid on the price of it. And once you bid the price, that'll be the price of the product. So you guys are just determining the price of the product itself. Now, the cards that come from the product, we're going to allow y'all to bid up the prices on the cards as well. Whether it be base cards, inserts, and all those things as well. Essentially buying and selling before the product is even officially released. So once it hits the market, everyone already knows the value once it's there. As opposed to, like, for example, with my favorite set, and I don't know every set that's been released and all this stuff. For right now, Mercury Wemby is my favorite set. And so seeing the prices go astronomically high and then go astronomically low the way that they did, like, I want to know how can, something like that be mitigated? And I believe that is how you do it, allowing people to just buy and sell the price, buy and sell the value of the card, just of the card itself, instead of the physical car. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I like the concept of the idea you have.
Mm-hmm.
I think practicality and greed gets in the way from it being achieved.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know now, if you buy a box, there's not a great chance that you're going to get your money back in that box if you don't hit the chase card. You got a bunch of base cards that come in this pack that are not of any value significantly, right?
Yeah.
Not even 10 cents sometimes for cards. You look at the Wimpy Mercury set being a high-end set that started $1,000, and there were cards coming out of that at the initial release that were being sold for $1,000 and less.
Mm-hmm.
And then as the product gets open, more of the limited stuff gets hit, and it also brings the price down because once the one-on-ones got hit, you saw breakers canceling breaks because they were underwater on what they paid for the boxes.
Yeah.
Like if you listen to Sports Cars Nonsense, Mike Gill talks about all the time of what they initially get paid for the allocation of things from Topps, and then after the product's out, what they have to go buy and rebuy from distributors for the markup.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the chase cards hit, they can go back and rebuy it for a little bit lower because now there's less demand on the supply.
Mm-hmm.
So the theory is great, and the concept that I think you and more people, us including, that actually how it can be fleshed out.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's going to take a massive shift to come to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because you still got greed. You still have greed and profit and people wanting to make money. So
yeah. Because I honestly do believe that some type of innovation is going to happen for sports cars for there to be a more, I guess, level field for buyer and like something that gives buyer and seller equitable interest. Because it's just weird when I watch some negotiations online in person, and I'm like, he just looked at the past 5 comps and decided on a price that was none of the comps.
Jordan has a comment here. I'm a whatnot seller, and I buy a low from FD and sell a little higher. This model will cut me out in most secondary markets. This might make base cars more relevant, but hurt growth. I agree with Big Jon as far as greed. I want to protect my dollar, my portion of the pie. Being what's on people's minds. Make sure I keep my card shop open. Pay my light bill, all that kind of stuff.
So kind of moving forward, right, into the conversation. You being new, what innovations have you seen that you enjoyed? From Fanatics, Panini, card shows. What have you seen that's been innovative in your eyes that, as a newcomer, that you was like that was a good idea that you enjoyed?
I don't know yet because everything I have seen is like what's already here.
Okay, so like I would say one thing that I've seen is like the MVP buyback program from Topps and Fanatics. Mm-hmm. I think that's an innovation where you actually Topps know they printed a lot, but now you're getting value off these dollar cards in the sense of you can take it to select shops or send it back to Topps to get credit to buy more. So I think that's an innovation that was well received from a standpoint, because now my base year 5, year 6 Ohtani cards are now worth something other than $1. They're worth 20. They're worth more. So I feel like that thing of innovation that I'm starting to like. The PSA with how and places like PSA Arena Club, how they reveal your grades. I think that's exciting innovation from a content standpoint. Where if you're on PSA, you ship the cards out, you get your grades. You can make a reel, you can make a video, you can make content just on your cards before you get them back into your hand. So that's why like things that wasn't here 4 years ago, 3 years ago, that are good things from an innovative standpoint. In my opinion.
Okay.
True.
So tell me this about sports cards. It initially started with baseball cards, right?
Yeah.
And now we're
tobacco cards, so cards sold in cigarette packs.
Okay. And so from there, we've now come to, I guess, the most latest thing is like NBA basketball, right? Some of the most recent releases. What do you think could make the cards more, I guess, special, unique, as opposed to just having a jersey or autograph? A jersey patch or autograph, or even
we talked before about if that patch is on the card, we should know what game it's from, what happened in that game. Why is that patch significant? It should always be game used, not just worn by a player. That's one thing that could really make something special. Big Jon has talked about before having, if you're gonna have variations, let's have different pictures. Let's make this thing look unique.
Let's have a true one-on-one. The one-on-one super factor is a one-of-one image variation. This image is not in any set or in any other thing. Like that's how we have. In some cases, I think Wemby has over 100 one-on-ones, and not even half of the releases are out yet.
Like Wemby's market. We can talk about Wemby.
That's my guy, man. Don't talk bad about him.
He can be cool, but Wemby's market is oversaturated to the 10th degree. You have so many one-on-ones. He has so many RPA patch cards. He has so many signed cards. I don't care what the number is. You have a Deca that has come out. You have this Mercury that has come out. There's probably going to be other stuff that comes out. These manufacturers are elongating the rookie season of Wemby beyond belief.
But I will tell you this:
the current rookie class is trash.
You know how many car shops you can go into here in Texas? If anyone in it is in the comments, anyone that's in the chat, and you're here in Texas, go to a car shop and tell me how many Wemby cars you'll find.
I can only imagine it's covered everywhere.
No.
Really?
Nope.
Where are they at then? Are they selling them online?
I would
in the shop. What are they doing with?
I would think they're online because I actually went around and looked. I'm like, all right, so many Wemby cars out here in the market. How many of these car shops actually have these like unique, rare Wemby cars? And a lot of them don't have them.
So I think two things, right? I think Mercury was a great idea, terrible execution.
Hold on. Do you really think it was a good idea?
I think this was a good idea. Let's come out with a set for him. But the problem was you put so many of his cards, his autos, his patches on the market at one time for the high and it's the high end.
But is it a good idea to make a complete set of one player?
I thought it was spectacular.
To me, that's horrible.
Why is it? Why do you think it's horrible?
Because you're oversaturating. And then let's say that player, I always go back to this, Big Jon knows this, there's no 7-4 player in NBA history that has lasted a long time. So if you make one set out of one player, you're money grabbing, folks. You're buying into the hype. Everybody's talking about Wemby. Oh, you want to talk about Wemby? Let me give you something else to talk about. And then as soon as I give it to you and you open it, prices are going down through the toilet. And in years, if this guy gets hurt, what are these cards worth? So they were 8 to 12, because I believe they're 8 to 10,000, and we'll talk in 6 or 7 years about how these cards are worth nothing.
Yeah. So, how long has when did Luka get drafted?
Last year.
Luka.
Oh, Luka, 2018. Now, if you go again, let me ask you this question: if you go into a card shop and do you see Luka cards in Texas?
Yes.
Why don't you see Wemby?
I think everybody's buying Wemby.
This is my point. So a market is saturated, everybody's buying it. Is that rare?
Yes.
It's not. It's not rare. If I just keep dollar bills are not backed by gold right now, and they haven't been for years. So if I keep manufacturing dollar bills, that's not rare.
Okay, so let's look at this, right? So I believe what Wemby has done is he's carrying a country. For instance, he's carrying France.
Right. Okay.
He's carrying France. Right, 20 years old. He's was rookie of the year. Made Steph Curry play like he was in the NBA Finals, Game 7 in the Olympics. Like they all had to play hard against this dude just to win the gold. And it was a phenomenal game.
But you know, he played well in the first half, didn't do anything in the second half.
Wemby?
Yeah. Didn't do one thing.
Yes, but I would just say the overall atmosphere of the experience.
But let me ask you this, Ron. When's the last time you were concerned about a French player and him carrying the country?
This year. This year. Well, last year. But I mean, it's so unique though. It's such he's 7'4", 7'3", 7'4".
So was Ralph Sampson. So was Manu Bol. We won't talk about those players.
But look how he's playing. Handle, jumper. Like he has the full package. He just needs to, add a little muscle. But it just, I think he's a what are you gonna say?
So Ronnie, I get what you're saying. He's 7'4", playing like KD. He couldn't post up De'Aaron Fox last night.
He's not a post player.
You're 7'4". You can't turn around. You can't post turnaround hook shot.
Did they lose last night?
6 foot guy.
I'll put that elbow in your back and you're not moving.
They lost.
They lost to the Kings, I believe. They are 11-9.
They don't have the talent to stay there.
Yeah.
They're going to lose, but
they're 11-9.
So if I told you I give you Mercury and I'm going to sell you RPAs that are one of how many RPAs do you think of Wemby that's out there right now? Of all brands.
Oh man.
Thousands. So you're gonna pay 8 to 10 grand to get one of thousands. Well, and then I'm gonna give you a clear patch. Is this gonna be white or it's gonna be black? There's not gonna be any emblem on it because I don't have a license agreement to give you that.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's
now. Yes, so unique to the card itself, right? So we're looking at the card, right? Looking at the aesthetic of the card as opposed to now the player itself. So we're comparing the aesthetic of the card to what this player is, and I think the aesthetic of the card may not be as appealing, but I believe Wemby lives up to enough hype to where it's not that bad.
You believe that?
Yeah.
You see, okay, we talk data, right? I love when we talk data. So when you talk data, right, you got to have some precedent, right? You got to have another piece of data that you're comparing it to, almost just like the lawyers do, run around with precedents.
What he averaging right now?
Probably 18, 19. What's he averaging?
I have to look it up. Let's see.
Have you seen any other player with those many RPAs where it was a positive situation from a hobby perspective?
24 points a game, 10 rebounds, 3 assists.
Okay.
That's insane.
So you having a good season.
So I mean, but who is someone that's? I mean, apparently I heard conversations that Kobe signed everything. Is that true?
He signed a lot later in his career. He signed some as a player a lot later in his career.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely when he was about to retire and when he retired.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, but of course it's hard to kind of compare.
Shaq has signed everything that you put in front of his face. To the point where his autograph on a card is not worth that much.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I see where you're coming from, but I think I guess it depends on what we see with his stuff that's not licensed. I mean, not licensed, but that's not his rookie stuff, right? How does that perform once that is released? His autographs that are not rookie, RPAs that are not rookie, patches that are not rookie, numbered, serialized stuff that are not rookie. That's what I think we'll have to compare it to once it comes out. But the only other player that I know that is known to have signed a lot of things is Kobe, but that's a different. Like he's the greatest of all time conversation. So I really don't have anything to compare Wemby to at that level.
All right, so Ron, here's what we do on what's the play.
Bro, you said Kobe is in the conversation of greatest of all time?
He is the conversation. Like he's the greatest of all time. He's that guy.
So who's your top five? Who's your top five in basketball? We got this question all the time.
Come on, Ron. Don't come in here with that.
What?
Come on now. We keep it real up in here.
Oh, man.
He's 29.
I know, but he also has access to YouTube.
Is that what?
He's on YouTube.
When he was watching, and in his prime of watching teenage years, Kobe was top 2 player in the league. So
yeah, but Ron is on YouTube. He has a keyboard in front of him right now.
I'm gonna tell you now. I grew up on LeBron.
That ain't okay, but you have a keyboard. You know
who's
another name.
Go
ahead and say that other name.
Huh?
What's the other name? Who's the real GOAT, Ron?
So I got Kobe. I mean, not Kobe, but I got LeBron, Jordan, and then of course Jordan Kobe is in there. Shaq. I'm throwing Curry in there. Got to throw Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Number 5. Let's see, man. Let's see. I'm gonna go old school with this one, and I'm gonna say Kareem.
Okay.
I'm gonna go old school. Only because my mom loved Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Okay.
That was my mom's favorite player.
I respect mom.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right.
Jordan Bird, Mutombo, Kobe LeBron. Got Mutombo in there. Okay.
Sideline, Tumbo in the top 5.
But yeah, so there was something else. Man, this might get controversial, but I feel like we got to talk about this because somebody told me to not talk about it, but I think I want to talk about it.
Okay.
It's not a lot of black people in sports cars.
Oh, we can talk about that.
It's not a lot of black people in sports cars. But it goes. We're gonna take this a step further though. So I was when I go into sports car shops.
Just so you know, I don't want to interrupt you, but while you're talking, I got some background entertainment for you. But keep going.
Okay. When I was first going into what are you playing? Michael Jordan. Man, I watched it. I've seen some great, Jordan Hardwood classics.
Yeah, I want to show you some more. Just keep going though. Go with your time.
Some more.
We're gonna be here a while. Go ahead.
I watched The Last Dance. I seen so many Jordan interviews. I mean, I did have like Jordan as number 1 sometimes LeBron I believe just surpassed him.
All right, I got a 60 piece here for you. We only own 55. Keep going.
All right. So going into sports car shops, initially, it was always, that look over the shoulder. That weird side eye that, like what is this guy doing in here? Type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it happened quite often. And it's always sometimes a tonality of a shop manager or associate or something like that. It's kind of as if like, why are you coming into the shop?
Let me ask one question. Has this been in North Carolina or has this been in different states?
I experienced this in Texas.
Okay, go ahead.
In Texas. Yeah, I haven't been to a sports car shop in North Carolina yet.
Okay, go ahead.
So it's kind of like that apprehension initially. And then once I began to show my face more, I became cool with a lot of shop owners, but I'm just trying to understand. I wanted to first understand that apprehension. Have you guys experienced that at all?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
This is common, right?
Yes,
so
sir.
I tell us all the time, my favorite show that I go to, I've been to almost every show, and there are still vendors who will not look up when I come to their table.
I would love to come to the show with you, Big Jon.
You say, how's it going? They won't look up.
People look up.
So, but I think there's a perception that there's not a lot of blacks and minorities and women in sports cars.
But said Ross. Not Ross, man.
We're split.
Mm-hmm.
We're not connected. We don't have group goals, right? A lot of people who are vocal, right, play the victim.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people who are vocal use the race card as a way to start friction and to start dissension.
Yeah.
A lot of people who are vocal don't want you to have this conversation because they don't want you to disagree with them. Right? And you keep there are a lot of people, black people who do a lot of good things in the hobby. There are a lot of white people who do a lot of good things in the hobby who are trying to help minorities, trying to help women, right? But you see a lot of that's what I put it. You'll see a lot of people see a woman like Mama Breaks and just say she gets special treatment, right? Just because she's been successful. You will see a podcast like this who reaches out to everybody, no matter what race. One of the things that, and I'll let FD speak on it, but you don't see these same people reach back out across the back on the back end, right? There's a lot of us of the financial background we come from. We're not buying high-end cars, right? You see my page. I don't post high-end cars because I don't buy high-end cars, and that's not flashy. It doesn't get attention. Now I posted, hey, I just bought this Topps Mercury Wembley. I'm gonna get a bunch of likes, a bunch of comments because it's a high-end card. But
then you also gonna get people that want to hate on you because now you buying high-end, it's trash, it's this, that, and the other.
Well, out of the events that happened yesterday, and Ron, and if you know what I'm talking about, I have a whole soliloquy that I could go into when it comes to the hobby. Okay?
Keep it brief. But what happened? It's something else we want to go deeper into as well. Something that happened to me firsthand at the Dallas Car Show. But what happened with you?
Let's go into that. What happened to you firsthand? Because I told you what happened to me firsthand. There are things that I go in, tables I go to, they don't speak, and it could be because I'm black. It could be because they don't see me with a case, pulling a car, trying to trade, trying to sell, trying to buy. I have my looking eyes. What you got here eyes on? Not my. I want to buy this from you guys for the most part.
Yeah. Is anybody recording this?
Yeah.
Yeah. This has been recorded right now. This is gonna be on YouTube.
Clip this.
Yeah.
So at the Dallas Car Show, right? Nowhere in my background is stealing, being in situations where I'm the reason why it went, bad because of bad intentions, right? Like I had the intention for this to be bad, right? To do something I shouldn't be doing, right? Dallas Card Show, Andrews from True Pools, his $15,000 Lamar Jackson RPA went missing.
I saw something about that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When I tell you the amount of Ronnie did it came up, it's ridiculous. I literally had security guards come up to me like I'm walking around like the show getting B-roll and different things like that. And I'm also with Andrew recording like the whole entire time. Like not the whole entire time, but majority of the time. And the security guard comes up to me and like literally is like just looking at me as if I took something. I'm like, whoa. Like, am I being looked at as a suspect right now? Like,
did that security guard say something to you?
He say nothing to me. Literally, like, look, I keep I keep this on me. And it usually has like my mics in it. I may have cards in it sometimes, cash or something like that. But I got that on me. And so the security guard is just like literally looking at me like all around like this, just around my body. And I'm like, y'all think I stole the card? And then I talked to Andrew about it afterwards, and he was like, yeah, man, there are some people that think you stole the card. He was like, I don't think you stole the card, but there are people that think you stole it. I can hear people at booths, like right beside me, saying, dang, he must be down bad to be stealing, from Andrew. I can hear people talking about me stealing the car, and I'm just like, wow, why is it like that? Why am I immediately being looked at as the person that stole this car? And the only thing I can look to, because they don't know me, is I'm the only black person in the room. There were other black people in the room, but I'm one of the black people in the room, that's around Andrew. And it was just very disheartening, to experience that. Going up to I went up to a few people that like run the Dallas Card Show. I went up to their booth to let them know, like, hey, Andrew wants to know something about like something with the police. And then they were looking at me like they didn't even want to talk to me. I'm like, whoa. Like I'm experiencing firsthand, like to, experience blatant, I guess, I don't know what to even call that, prejudice, racism, or whatever. Old timers. That's crazy. It was crazy. I was just like, man. And to think about that now is like, well, other people want to work with me because of that. The car still hasn't been found. How will people look at me at car shows in the future? Because they think I stole it. And the word goes around, hidden messages or whatever, about that, situation. Of course, there's some more internal things that I know that I don't want to talk about, but it's just, it was weird, man. It was weird to experience that. Very weird. And it was like a sports car shop owner that actually wanted me to do some of his whatnot. He's not talking to me anymore, which is weird. And so I'm just like, dang. It was Nick's Sports Cars here in Dallas.
Did anybody come up to you, approach you, accuse you verbally, say something to you at the show?
No, it was no direct, I think you stole a car. It was more so just hearing it beside me.
Now, you work with Andrew. Were you the only one at his table?
No, I wasn't the only one at his table.
I'm just trying to put some perspective around it, right? Because we know Dallas has a theft issue.
Mm-hmm.
It's happened before.
It's happened before, and those people are on video, and none of them was a person of color.
Yeah.
And they still haven't found those cards.
That was like a what, $1.5-2 million heist, right?
Yep.
Crazy, ridiculous, insane. But yeah, I don't know the time frame that it was stolen, and that was another thing that I found that was weird when Andrew texted me the time frame to look at when it was stolen. He said, "Hey, go let the people at the Dallas Car Show know to look at the time from this time." And it was the time that I came to the show, and the time that me and Andrew left to get some footage outside or whatever. And so it was like it was kind of like a look at what Ronnie did through this time period.
Mm-hmm.
You know. But yeah, so it was like I was recording Andrew the whole time. Like I was nowhere near like the proximity of the booth to like be reaching or to to do anything. Like I wasn't close enough to do anything at that point in time or whatever. But yeah.
You know you're innocent. And Andrew knows you're innocent. Keep doing what you're supposed to do. You can't control what other people think with no proof.
Yeah, I'm with Machado here. He says, create your own wave, Ron. Don't become an industry plant, respectively. Create content and get paid for what you know. Build a community. You're very open-minded, and other people wake them up. And I think people will realize who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Any of y'all ever been accused of theft before? Besides this, Ron?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my God. And you remember when I told you about the incubation with the guys from Princeton? That was the situation, man. And it hurt me so bad. It hurt me so bad. But so I was literally
did they accuse you of stealing an idea, a concept, or what?
Stealing money. And so one of the guys, like, room was just filthy, right? And so I guess he was doing some type of side hustle or whatever he had going on. He lost some money, and it just, instead of admitting to himself like, dang, I lost the money, he blamed me for stealing it. Some time went on, and he apologized for it. He said, "Hey, Ronnie, I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to, accuse you of stealing that money. I apologize for it." But by that time, like, the incubation stuff was already over. I had moved to Maryland at that point. Was onto some other ventures at that time. But it just, I hate, like, it just feels bad, man, to be accused of taking something that you just know you didn't steal, especially when the accuser is somebody you may care about, it's somebody that you have a relationship with,
But I would ask the question: if someone's accusing me of something that I didn't do I have a relationship with them?
I mean, I get, yeah.
I don't have a relationship with them.
No, once they accuse you, of course you want to you want to have nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
But initially, it's like, y'all friends, y'all cool, y'all are working diligently on actually trying to build something. Then all of a sudden, to be accused of something.
You get a chance to ask that person, why are you accusing me?
I didn't ask him. I didn't.
That's one of the things you got, like, sometimes you got to cut people off no matter how much you love them,
mm-hmm.
right? Other times, like, why? Why do you think I would do something like that if you know me this well?
Yeah, to me, this is the way I am, man. This is just my personality. We all got different personality. If you can open your mouth to say I did something, then you can open your mouth to answer the questions I got to say.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, we're gonna decide what we're gonna do. Where we gonna go? If I'm gonna leave you alone, or what the deal is.
Yeah. I mean, once I was accused, once I was accused, man, I left that. I left the dynamic, man. I couldn't see myself just doing that because trust is a critical part of trying to develop anything.
Remember, perception is who people think you are. Integrity is who you are. Right?
Yeah.
So no matter if you know you didn't do it, you stand up. I didn't do it. If people don't believe that they perceive you did it, that's their perception. And sometimes it's not worth your time trying to change their perception.
And Ronnie, for me, if it's not true, I don't care what people are talking about.
Yeah.
You can say whatever about me. If it's not true, then we just talking. So, and I think people around will know that person's just talking. We first started content. People said certain things about me that were not true. One I addressed in a video for everyone to see. Some other stuff I have never addressed.
Dang. What did they say?
There was a years ago. I don't know if you all remember, or Big Jon, I don't know if you remember this. There was a individual running a card store that was taking cars in to submit to PSA. That individual was holding on to people's cards, and a bunch of stuff started happening, but the cards never reached PSA. So the first night that we started recording content, I went to 3 places. I went to Burbank, I went to a card show, and I went to a card shop. The card shop was owned by this individual. People were in comments and saying certain things. Some people I saw at shows that wanted to say certain things in their comments, saying that I knew this individual and I was a part of this process. And I think anybody that's like got the head screwed on right would know that's not the case. So we talked here with my family, and then I addressed it in a one take. I still remember this, a one take video. I just came out and said what I thought about the situation and separated myself from it. And I took those videos off YouTube that we recorded there. But my initial, before I talked to my family, my initial reaction was like, I don't give a damn about what these people are talking about. I had nothing to do with that. And I'm not making a video on it. Then we started talking. I was like, okay, I'm new to this space. Let me do this. I do know, Ron, just from life, people try to cancel people and say certain things about them to try to get them canceled. So there's a lot of things that could go on in that. But if I was you, if you want to go to the Dallas Car Show, you go back to the Dallas Car Show.
Oh, yeah.
You go ahead.
Yeah. It's one Saturday. I'm definitely going to.
Yeah, go. Enjoy yourself. Handle your business. Walk around. You're Ron. The Dallas Car Show should be happy to have you. If you're there, it's privileged by you walking by and potentially talking to them.
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay, so what time is I may have to go to sleep soon. Okay, so what advice I'm gonna ask for specific advice. Do you guys use any type of app to keep track of sales or anything for your sports car? Or do you just use a simple spreadsheet?
Are you talking about the cars that I purchased?
Yeah, when you buying and reselling them. If you do resell them.
I keep a spreadsheet.
Okay.
I buy most on eBay. I just use eBay because eBay still has where you can put everything in your collection, so I can go back and see when I paid for stuff years ago. I don't have the pay. I tried the spreadsheet. I don't have the patience for it.
Yeah, I get that.
And
it's work to sit down and start chopping on that thing.
Yeah.
All the time. Yeah.
I can go to eBay and I can go to my seller page and I can go see what I paid for everything. Right. For my consignment orders, I can go to my consignment page and see what I sold those for, and go back to eBay and reference what I bought them for. But I always have a awareness of what I pay for things because I know where I'm buying at. right? I know the dollar amounts I'm spending on buying, so I'm never going to be too out of whack from a loss standpoint. Well, my loss is not going to be significant enough where I'm in trouble.
Yeah,
because I'm, the $150 card I bought the last 3 months, I know that's the only $50 card I bought. The $3 card went to $1. That's okay, because I'm not buying enough $3 cards where they're all going to about to a dollar. Like I might buy a $10 card. It's 15. I bought simple moves like I bought a couple of WMA cards from Whatnot from Jerry, sold them for 5-6 times more than what I paid for them on eBay. Yeah. So that covers the $1 or $2 difference that I lost because I know. And then I use my eBay funds more often than not to buy cards. So I'm not going in pocket out of my bank account a lot to buy cards because I'm just usually going, I got $30. Let's see what I can go find today. What piques my interest? So,
another question: have you ever been tricked or felt like you were tricked at like a card show or a card shop? And I only ask that because I don't know if y'all familiar with it's a 4-player card with Jordan, I think Stephon Marbury. Who else is on? It's like 4 players on this card. Can't remember. And somebody I wasn't familiar with like refractors, and then there's a base version and a refractor version of it. And I bought the base version of it because it was presented to me as or talked about like the refractor version, but it was the base version of the card. Let me see if I can find it.
So this whole concept that you're introducing here happens more than anybody wants to talk about.
Yeah.
And this is what we were talking about earlier about if you don't know, and a lot of times this happens, and this turns people off on the hobby. If you don't know, then you're in the hands of the seller because only they're giving you information on the buy. And if you don't come in with that information, it can get very interesting. This happens at shows a lot. And this is why a lot of people feel a certain way sometimes because what was sold to them and explained to them is not what they actually received. Or at a price that is really a market value price.
Let me see.
I wouldn't say I've been tricked. I've definitely sleepballed or quickly read over things on eBay and bought a card thinking it was a rookie, thinking it was something that it wasn't. But that's completely my fault for being so quick to make the purchase. I bought stuff at shows, confident looking and thinking it's one thing. Well, can't see it.
That's that Best card. Bowman Best.
Bowman's Best, yeah.
So that's a cool card, but you have a refractor version. You have a regular version. If I remember correctly on that card, there's nothing, Big Jon, you tell me, that says refractor.
No.
I thought you had to see the image and see how it dances in the light to know it's a refractor.
Ron, do you use ComC?
Who?
ComC. Do you use that website?
Why don't you pull
I never heard that one.
Pull up on, we'll share.
So ComC.com, one of the things that I like to do, because there's so many parallels, right?
I'm learning, man. I'm learning.
Hold on.
I'm gonna grab some water real quick.
Go ahead, sir. Brendan, thank you very much for your comment. I've enjoyed this conversation so much more than probably anybody. It's good to talk to someone who's is analytical and wants to learn the hobby. I love that stuff.
Definitely been a fun conversation. Very thought provoking. And
we're gonna have to have Ron back up on here.
All right, so I'm gonna share this for you before we get out of here, Ron. ComC. One of the things I found out, and I like ComC, is because I'm looking up Jordan Miller. I can go to this select card right here, and every refractor or every version of the card that they've had up for sale is usually on here somewhere. right? So now I can see what the rainbow is, or what. Now there may be one or two different variations missing because it hasn't been put on the site or put on eBay.
Yeah.
This is a great tool to use to be like, hey, what's the other cards in this refractor in this set from this player? And you can just see the difference, right? And this is just the prices that the things are selling for on here. So, if you want to look up Michael Jordan, I can't spell. You can click on this finest and kind of see there's a base and a refractor. And so this is a refractor right here, and you can put it up, look at it.
This is nice. Got Kobe and Jordan on it.
Yeah, so this is like one of my research tools just when I'm looking up car things that I don't know. Because maybe I don't want the one I seen on eBay that's blue. Maybe I want to look at something low numbered, right? What are the low numbers, and I can go from there. Or maybe I want to put, because what's one of the wrestlers I collect, I want to put together his rainbow set. And boom. I can go look, he's 50, and the special out of 50 is all he got for the most part. So even if you don't want to go look at like Beckett to find the carbon connection to find what all the variations are, ComC is a great way to just go look that up and just, especially some Martin cards, type the player in, find the set you're looking for, and just open it up, and it'll show you right there all the, or most of the variations and what the print runs are.
Okay, I got it in my bookmarks. Yeah, that's a good website right there, man. Because that's something I want to definitely want to know. What is for you guys? What is the substance of this sports car hobby? And it was something that started as like a way for fathers to connect with sons. So, what is the substance of it for y'all?
That's a great question. For me, it's a way for me to connect with my children. The hobby teaches so much beyond just cards, how to talk to people, kind of how to relate with folks, shaking hands, introducing yourself, all that kind of stuff. My children pick up. Every show I go into, I remember when I first entered the show with my father. My father introduced me to the hobby and kicked me off in it, kind of plant the seed, watered it, helped me grow. So the hobby's going to be about that. It's also about connections and the people you meet.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. What about you, Big Jon?
For me, first off, it's a hobby. It's an outlet. It's a relaxation, right? I can be doing car stuff and still pay attention to my family for the most part. Or my wife needs, I can step away. It's not as take my attention away as me playing video games, where I'm just, I'm in a live, I'm playing something, I'm in it, and I can't stop it, drop it a hat. I can stop. Oh yeah, let's go play. Let's go do this. But it's a hobby. I can collect. I find enjoyment in collecting the cars I collect. When I look at them, I find enjoyment. When I research, I find enjoyment. So it's a hobby first for me. Then it's a business, a source to be able to have some extra income when I need it. This helped me pay bills. It's helped me in times of need to be able to sell stuff I don't want anymore and have a little bit of emergency money when I needed it for things. Yeah. So, but it's also community, right? I've been blessed this year to meet great people online. I've been blessed to be able to do this podcast with FD, to be able to be on other podcasts. That if I wasn't doing this hobby, if I wasn't being true to who I am with how I hobby on, what I show online, I would never get these opportunities, right? I had these conversations, So when we talked earlier about there's now like Black people in this hobby, this is how I found a community, right? This is how to find, you be able to find Machado, LP, Nathan, people in the chat to talk to. Then I'm able to reach out to people on Instagram and have conversations and start, genuine online friendships, to the point where, we know how it is. Like, there are a bunch of people I send memes to all day long, and that's how we communicate, right? There's a bunch of people that, hey, how's your family doing? How's your kids doing? Hey, so I made great connections with people in the hobby, people in my state, people out of state.
Yeah.
But it is still a hobby. Like, I love the cars that you see next to me, and that I go out and buy, that I keep, that I sell. I generally like doing this, and it's not work for me. So the moment when I'm not selling a lot of things, I was like, hey, this ain't work for me, so I don't have to.
And I think one of the cool things here is that Big Jon and I met through doing podcasts. I would be on, I have a guest on, or I would have another person on. And then Big Jon was the person that was in the comments, always dropping some kind of knowledge.
Okay.
And we began to talk more, and we began to communicate more, all the way up to right now. We're here in front of you. Like, we didn't know each other.
Oh, wow.
3 years ago, didn't know each other at all. But when the podcast started, he was one of the first people that was on and was asking a lot of intelligent questions. And I could tell this guy has a background. We started talking about sports and when he played and a lot of different stuff. And the relationship grew to the point where I was like, I think he could add a lot. I asked him one day, would you ever want to be on a podcast? And I think he could add a lot to the conversation. Just like tonight. I mean, I think Big Jon's made for podcasts.
Yeah.
He's great. He's all over it. He has a skill that people need to know who he is and see him. So it has grown. This whole thing, this conversation of now you being on here and me getting to know you personally from this conversation and how you think, this has already grown into something else. So
yeah,
that worked.
I got another question, man.
Hold on. For your question, I want to answer the question in chat. Brendan asked about JD. And I still talk to JD to this day.
Hold on, Brendan said JD has been forgotten. He hasn't been forgotten. What happened?
I still talk to him to this day. We talk about wrestling cars. We talk about shoes. And he hasn't been forgotten at all. I still have mad love for him.
Great question, though, Brendan. Some people might be thinking that, not asking it. I'm glad you asked.
Okay.
But what's your question, Ron?
So what do we need to see more of from, Black people in the sports car hobby?
Consistency. So when I got this hobby, this was the first person that looked like me that I found. FD, right? When you go on YouTube, you search sports cars, first person that looked like me that I found. You see other podcasts started by other people who are inconsistent, often off and on. They, so you need one, consistent. Two, open-mindedness. Bringing people across the board. You make content, right? And you've been at shows. I can guarantee you, not a lot of people of color has reached out to you and to try to give you advice or tips on your content, how to be better or what you can do differently just from a content standpoint. Right?
No.
Right?
I mean, not Black people, but
I'm saying not Black people.
Yeah.
Right? But you'll see a lot of Black people say they want to help other Black people. They will reach out. And we also, on the flip side, have to reach out to them. Can't be afraid to ask a question. Hey, I'm thinking about this, ask a question. So somebody's got to be willing to initiate the relationship.
Okay. This is a lot.
Initiate the the conversation, initiate the time and the effort.
Mm-hmm.
And Big Jon used the word consistency, right? When we talk about greatness in sports, consistency is the word that comes up. You can't come out tonight and have 45 and the next night have 3 points.
Yeah.
That's not going to work. So even though we talk about our own relationships with people and making content, you're newer to making content. Some of the same things that you face as far as people not reaching out to you, a lot of people haven't reached out to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm the kind of person, like, my family knows me, and I think Big Jon and I are beginning to get to know each other a lot better. Ron, that lights my fire, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very competitive person, and I like when people don't do, because it makes me want to do more. Mm-hmm. And I like, and this is real, probably my sports side talking when I used to play ball. But when I see you in person, you don't have anything to say. There's a reason for that. Mm. And you know the reason, and I know the reason, because I'm not about BS. I'm a very straightforward person. I'm gonna tell you exactly what I'm thinking. It could be whatever, something you just said or something you just did. I'm one of the first people to give you some positive feedback. I'm probably one of the first people to call you out on some BS. That's just me. I love sports and I get into it. And I have a passion for understanding what's going on in the game and why it's happening a certain way, who's scoring what points, and getting down into the data. I love running data and looking at data. I do it professionally for work a lot. I love doing it when I'm kind of relaxing, and it helps me understand things better. Mm-hmm. But we need, go back to answer your question. We need more support of each other. Mm-hmm. Less BS from each other, right? That's exactly what we need. We should be running to each other and not trying to tear each other down, not trying to talk behind Ron's back, not trying to say certain things to make you look a certain way in front of other people. Because you know that's what people do. When they got a problem with you, they want to make sure that other people look at you a certain way, which might get back to your Dallas situation or other situations that you face. But that all puts more logs on my fire. It's not going to make me go somewhere and hide in a corner. It's going to make me actually come out even harder. So I think when people learn that about me, I love the BS chatter, man, because I'm going to end up shutting it down in my own way. I'm not a rah-rah guy. I'm not vocal. I'm not yelling and screaming at people. I'm not doing any of that. But we're going to put out some more reels today. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do more work. And it's quality work. I pride myself on making family content or content anyone in your family can watch. You want to sit your grandmother down? My mom is 75 years old. She sits down and watches what my son Junior does. My other son is the editor and the filmer, the videographer. She watches me. And all of my friends know that I send content to, because I make quality content. There's no cursing in my content. And if people are cursing, more power to them. That's not me. There's no excessive drinking in my content. If people want to drink, more power to them. But we ain't doing that up in here. So when I come to a show, I'm coming to your table a certain way. My father introduced me to the hobby a particular way. He walked me around and introduced me to Jim Brown and other people that he loved watching when he grew up and listened to the radio, because they didn't have TVs when he grew up. And he told me to make sure that you do this later in life. You represent yourself a certain way, because people are going to be looking at you and expecting you not to do that, right? Yeah. To me, manhood is important in my content. Womanhood is important in my content. And I originally started making stuff to showcase men, women, and children and people of color. So that's what we're about. And if I put out something and it doesn't blow up, it's not 30,000 views. We had a show one time that was 35,000 views.
Oh, wow.
If it's not that all the time, and it's 200, 300, 400, whatever it may be, maybe 7. Was it quality? And did I represent myself in my household? Yeah. So if I've done that, then I'm good, bro. Yeah. And now I got on a podcast to meet quality people like you. I'm straight.
When you speak about support don't necessarily mean buying from me. We're being transactional. Support, right? And I tell you all the time, easiest way to support somebody. If you like the content, share it. Right? If you like it, share it. Somebody else may like it. I share people content all the time without asking them first, without needing a transaction. Hey, you got to pay me to share your content. I like your podcast. I want somebody else because you're a small podcast.
Yep.
I don't have. Oh, I like what I'm going to go be in your lives, and the way you're not talking to yourself for 20, 30 minutes and feel discouraged.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Say, hey, how's it going? And try to even if I can't be in there the whole time, pop in and out and talk to you the way you don't feel discouraged because you're talking to one person, right? Those are things that are encouraging. Those are things that I support. They don't cost a dime, right? How many people quit going live? That's why I don't like to go live. I am very gun shy of doing content, but I continue to try, and because also I don't care about the analytics of my content. I'm not doing it to make money. I'm doing it because it makes me feel good. But it's also good to know that somebody else liked it. Somebody else thought you did something was cool.
Yeah.
It
makes sense.
And where else? I just love the fact. Where else can you get 3 black men in America from different parts of the country to sit down and have real, intelligent conversation about many different aspects of life?
Yeah,
it's important, and it's important, and it's important for people to see that.
Yeah, and we only really talked about sports cars.
That's it.
I'm pretty sure we could have opened up.
We'll have you back. We can talk. Big Jon and I have been on here and talked segments with people that have nothing to do with sports cars.
Oh wow!
We're talking about life and different. And I think the more we go, my dream is for what's to play to grow into more of that. But we're talking about sports. We're talking about sports cars, but we're also talking about other things that affect people overall. And that's why I've always wanted to have a plethora of different guests on here that look different ways and have experienced different things, because it's important to hear their perspective. From men to women, we've had some children on here that are in a hobby, and I want to have more.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great, man. That's great. I want to say thank you guys so much for having me on your platform and just allowing me to speak. Introduce myself. To your audience. I'm truly grateful for that, man.
Yeah, subscribe to Ron.
Yeah, I need to get more active on and post some longer form stuff, but I got something in the works. I want you guys to critique it.
Okay.
Tell me what you think about it. I got the new camera and all that stuff, so we're gonna see, man. We're gonna see.
Well, I'm definitely gonna add you to my rotation of people that I reach out to and hit up and see what's going on. So you will hear from me going forward.
Okay, sounds. And what I think did I follow you on Instagram? Let me see.
Everybody in chat, man. Thank you guys coming out. Make sure you give Ron a follow. Ron Sohabi. Sideline, was great to meet you. Definitely hope to have you back again.
Sideline, I appreciate you. You showed up today and showed out. I appreciate you. You've been in here this whole time. Bless you as well.
Yeah,
thank you for being here.
Chat, man. Chat is awesome.
Yeah.
W Ron, thank you. I appreciate that, man. You guys, I definitely want to come back, man. I want to come back with some new insights.
We'll have you back.
Insights, man.
But like Big Jon said, thank you to the chat for being here. You could be anywhere else. Golden State has taken a lead here, people. And let me go back. I got to talk my talk, right, Big Jon, before we get up off here. Let me go back to Jerome. Jordan Brown. Jordan, you were talking something about. Make sure I find this.
I was saying some
what's up? Because I'm petty that way. Jordan Brown said something about Denver going on a run and it being scary. Ain't nobody scared over here. People sitting on 4 rings. Nobody's scared over here. Are we talking about greatness? Is that right, Big Jon?
I'm talking about greatness.
Talking about greatness. So
we talk about anything and everything here.
That's right. I appreciate y'all. We got Jordan. What you say? No, that wasn't me. Oh, that wasn't you. Okay. Oh yeah. LOL. Okay, bro. I hope, but seriously, I hope Golden State can keep it. But Ron, thank you so much, sir. Big
No
John,
problem.
thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yes,
See you
sir.
guys next week.
Yeah, have
Yeah.
a good night.
Good night, bro. Everybody keep rolling, baby, because it don't stop. And it shouldn't stop. Golden State.